CBS Sports welcomes you to the following presentation of the National Football League.
As we said before, it's a windy day here at First Energy Stadium in Cleveland, Ohio. It is warm as well, and a capacity crowd to watch the Browns and the Dolphins. Just over 70 degrees. It's not going to get much warmer than that. The wind out of the north, and it's just changed here in the last handful of hours on a partly cloudy day. Well, to kick off will be Miami. They won the toss, and they deferred. So Caleb Sturgis will be kicking off, and Deepak Johnson Badamosi. And you can see it sails over his head and out of bounds, and the touchback to the 20-yard line, which takes us to quarterback Brandon Whedon, a first-round pick a year ago, an Oklahoma kid who tried a little baseball, went to Oklahoma State, set all kinds of records, Solomon, and here he is now in his second year as a starter.
But you saw he only completed 54% of his passes last year as a rookie. What did he tell us when we spoke with him, Kevin? He said, I knew I had to improve coming into the 2013 season. Yeah, I think you're going to see that improvement with this new offensive system brought in by North Turner.
Tight end on the move, Barnage. 1st and 10, Trent Richardson. Greco and Thomas throwing blocks. And the tackle made in the secondary by Rashad Jones. Again out to about the 28, and he picks up 9 right there. On the line, Thomas, a 6-time Pro Bowler. Schwartz is in his second year. Those are the 2 tackles. Cousins moves from tackle to guard. And we just got a healthy feel right there of Trent Richardson. Devon Bess, who is a great 3rd down receiver for the Miami Dolphins and 5 years in South Florida, is now in Cleveland. Rob Chudzinski watching his offense right now, faces 2nd down and 1 with a little pistol formation. Richardson. Odrick grabs him after a gain of about 5 up to the 34-yard line. And they get a 1st down on the line. This is the strength of this Miami team. Olivier Vernon now is a 1st-year starter. Wake, of course, is as good as there is on the other side. Odrick starts, Soliai in the middle. They brought in Wheeler from Oakland, and they got Ellerbe from Baltimore, and Koamisi remains. And the safety strong here with Jones and Clemens. Grimes, he had a terrific preseason. He's from Atlanta. It is 1st and 10. Whedon, and he goes to Travis Benjamin from the University of Miami. And Chris Clemens makes the stop after a gain of 4 up to about the 48-yard line. And Joe Philbin, formerly the Green Bay offensive coordinator, now in his 2nd season with the Dolphins.
Yeah, we have ourselves, I think, 2 teams that are very similar in terms of their phase of development. Joe Philbin comes in, I think, with a more experienced bunch. They decided to rebuild and replenish themselves via free agency, where in Cleveland, it's a very young team built through the draft.
$126 million worth guaranteed in those free agent acquisitions and re-signings. 2nd down and 6 for Whedon. Good looking catch made by Little. Works on Grimes. It's a gain of 9. He's to the 48. It's another 1st down.
This makes the fans here in Cleveland very proud, because Greg Little, over the last couple of years, have dropped plays just as this. Balls that were thrown right to him, and now you see him contesting for the ball in traffic. He has a big body. You'd be expected to win against a player like Brent Grimes. It's not easy to come down with that catch.
Little has led the Browns in receiving the last 2 years. Another 1st down. This drive started back at the 20-yard line. Richardson into the secondary. Misi and Clemens there, close to another 1st down. About a 10-yard gain to the 42 of Miami.
Watch 91, Cameron Wake gets up the field, but see, Richardson's a tough guy to tackle, Kevin. In space, he usually makes the first unblocked defender miss, and that's when you get positive yards. We said he was going to get plenty of carries. He's already getting a load on this drive.
1st and 10, Trent Richardson. 1st-round pick out of Alabama a season ago and lassoed by Philip Wheeler. It's a gain of 2 to the 40 of the Dolphins.
And this is the area, I think, where Trent Richardson can drastically improve. We saw him sort of give up on the play because he did not want to press the line of scrimmage initially. Tried to cut back and nearly lost yards on that game. You see the 3.6 yards per carry average. expected to be somewhere in the mid-4s on each carry. 4.0, 4.5 yards per carry. The elite backs, the Adrian Petersons, the Arian Fosters, that's what you want from your star ball carrier.
149, line short.
180. Second down and 8 for Brandon Weeden. Good block by Thomas. And almost picked off, intended for little. In front of it, Dimitri Patterson, who has an ankle issue, but gets the start today in the secondary for Miami.
Patterson is a former Cleveland Brown. Spent some time with this team just 1 year ago. Nearly picked off that pass from Brandon Weeden. Weeden's learning, and in the NFL, you go outside the numbers, you better be early. And he talked about the improvement with his accuracy. It all starts with his feet. It's some of the things that Norv Turner is trying to instill in the 29-year-old quarterback to help him improve.
Said he talked to Troy Aikman on the phone, too, about what to expect with Norv Turner.
Troy Aikman said, just trust Norv Turner. Whatever he calls, you just make it happen. He has a reason for making the call.
Obanaya in the backfield, 3rd and 8. Weeden drilled and going deep and picked off on the play. Nolan Carroll makes the interception. The 4th-year player out of Maryland, who started a handful of games over the last couple years. Weeden was drilled and he throws the pick.
Yeah, I'm going to give Weeden credit. He put the ball under pressure where he had to on the outside. But Benjamin, he's a small, diminutive receiver. He can't contest for the ball. And the defender comes down with it. Carroll, he's in a better position. But the receiver, it's his job to fight to make sure that ball isn't intercepted.
They were going for Benjamin, as Solomon said. Nolan Carroll comes up with a pick and kills the Browns' drive. Weeden threw 17 picks a season ago. Nolan Carroll just got his 3rd career interception. And here is Ryan Tannehill after the pick on a long drive by Cleveland at his 1st and 10. He'll take it himself and try to get some breathing space, and only picks up a yard to the 2.
Let's take a look at the interception. There he is up top. That's Travis Benjamin. He's going to run the corner route. He's covered and bracketed. Let's stop it right there and see. In this, the ball's going to come down in this area right here. But if you're Travis Benjamin, you've got to fight for that ball, because the quarterback, Weeden, is trusting him to contest for the ball. Do not allow the defender to come down with it if you can't get it.
Normally Josh Gordon would be in that position, and Simon's talked about that and the importance of him out for 2 games with a suspension. 2nd and 9. This is Miller, who won a battle in training camp with Thomas for the starting running back. No more Reggie Bush. He went away in free agency. That's a gain of 4 right there. He's up to the 7 with a look at Ryan Tannehill. Grew up in Texas, big-time high school quarterback, played a little receiver. At A&M, he was a 1st-round pick a season ago.
And at 3,200 passing yards, that's a rookie passing record. Broke Dan Marino's rookie passing mark, but he also needs to improve upon his completion percentage and increase his accuracy.
3rd down and 5 for Tannehill with nice time, and he's got the receiver, and it's dropped by Brandon Gibson, the ex-Ram, who has been pretty good in terms of getting 1st downs in his career, but it's 3 and out, and the Dolphins have got a punt.
Take a look at Tannehill. Watch the head come here, but then watch him come back to the middle. See, he's going through his progression. He found the open receiver and delivered the ball accurately, or I should say accurately, in a tight window. If you're Gibson, you've got to catch that ball.
You take a look at Brandon Fields on the right and Benjamin on the left. Fields, one of the best punters in the NFL, and he's got a little bit of a wind in his face. And he chases it. Benjamin does, and finally falls on the ball. And the long snapper was down there, John Denny, to cover him up on a 52-yarder by Brandon Fields. 2nd time coming out for Weeden. Threw a pick the last time.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com. Verizon. Never be without football with NFL Mobile from Verizon. And by Bud Light. It's the sure sign of a good time. Here we go.
A little rocky maybe to be on Lake Erie today, but nonetheless with the beautiful backdrop of downtown Cleveland, a city that has done so much to enhance the beauty of their downtown. We get the 2nd possession for the Cleveland Browns, and they begin it in the pistol from their 41. Up the middle, Starks. And thrown away by Whedon, who starts today. Boy, we've had a lot of different starting quarterbacks for this team. 8 straight games with 7 different QBs, Dilfer and Fry, and we had Derek Anderson, who became a Pro Bowler. Brady Quinn was drafted in the 1st round. Jake Delhomme, the ex-Carolina Panther. We had Colt McCoy, and Brandon Whedon becomes the quarterback starting for a 2nd consecutive year.
Yeah, and over the last 14 years, they've had 11 different starting quarterbacks on opening day. And since the team has come back in 1999, and stability at that position is vitally important for them to have consistency as a franchise.
2nd down and 10. This is Richardson with Cousins pulling the guard. Not a bunch there. No gain on the play. And initially they had Philip Wheeler with the stop.
Well, you can see as Cousins, as you mentioned, Kevin, was pulling on the play. I think Richardson's got to stay with the play. I think he gave up on it, cut back maybe a little bit too soon. I would have loved to seen Cousins get up in there and get a body on a body to press the hole. But Richardson, I thought he gave up on the play a little too soon.
Cousins is used to playing tackle. They've got him at right guard.
They got him at guard, and he was pulling on the play. And he's got to get up in there to create running room for Trent Richardson.
Mark 5-9, line short.
Dolphins in the nickel, 3rd and 10 for Whedon. Little, he drops it, and it's on a deflection. Little hot potato there. They could not get it. They call it incomplete, but Jones was there. They also had the coverage by Ellerby, and Cleveland's got a punt.
Well, this is just another good throw, I think, by Whedon. Ball gets into the body of Travis Benjamin. He's stripped by Grimes, and look at there. Number 20, Rashad Jones, nearly intercepts the deflection. If he catches it, he's going to run for a touchdown. And this is what the Dolphins, we talked about it in our open, they have to be able to produce more takeaways. That was an opportunity for Rashad Jones to put points on the board for his football team.
Spencer Lanning punting to Marcus Thigpen of the Dolphins. And quickly wrapped up by Johnson Botamosi. Right on Thigpen. 48-yard punt and a 3-yard return. 2nd possession coming up for the Miami Dolphins. Fantasy football fans, if you want to play with the best, there's still time to get started on the most awarded fantasy site. Sign up now at cbssports.com/football. So the Dolphins had a big-time interception by Nolan Carroll for Joe Philbin's team as the Browns were driving well their 1st possession. Now here's the 2nd possession for Tannehill. And Lamar Miller watching some blocks and picked up by Phil Taylor, jumping on his back near the 19, picking up 4. And this is the way the line looks. Martin now taking the place of the departed Jake Long. John Jerry starting at that right guard. He's been battling a knee. He had early camp surgery, but he's back and playing today. And you see the players right there that comprise a reconstituted offense. They re-signed Hartline. They got Wallace for $60 million. Clay is the tight end. Here is a 2nd down and 7. Wallace and Hayden will be a good matchup today. Joe Hayden there in the right-hand, left-hand corner, number 23 for the Browns. And outside they go. That is Clay. He doubles as a fullback and a tight end. It's a pickup of 6 right there to the 24 against this Cleveland Brown defense. And their strength is their line. Phil Taylor is the guy to watch. Otabo Rubin is injured, will not play with the calf, and Billy Wynn takes his place at that left end on that newly constituted 34. And because of that, Jabal Sheard moves to an outside backer. Paul Jackson in the middle. Screen has been injured, but he starts today. Hayden is the headliner there. It's 3rd down and 1. And they go outside. That is Gibson with the catch, and Chris Owens, the ex-Falcon, with the stop. It's only a gain of 2. They get to the 26, and they get the 1st down.
And on this play, look at in the bunch formation, Gibson's more sure-handed, creating yards after the catch. Got to give a lot of credit to Ryan Tannehill on the throw. I think his accuracy, what we call ball placement, allowed Gibson to spin out and be able to create yards after the catch and pick up the 1st down. If that ball's on the back shoulder, no way he's going to get loose for a 1st down.
Hey, Chico.
Rashard Matthews becomes the extra receiver. They got the 4 then. It's a 1st and 10. Running back Miller's in motion. Oh, boy, they read it well. Paul Kruger, 99. He used to play for Baltimore. He was terrific on that postseason run. It's a loss of 2.
Miami Dolphins spent a lot of money, $160 million in free agency, not just on offense, $60 million over to Wallace. Donnell Ellerbe comes over from the Super Bowl champion Baltimore Ravens. They give him nearly $35 million. Philip Wheeler is a good blitzing linebacker. He picks up a nice check, and Brandon Gibson, he can convert plays into first down, as we saw in the last third down play.
On second down and 12 for Ryan Tannehill. Hartline, he had a big contract he signed. He catches it right in front of Owens. He's also hit by Tashawn Gibson. He picks up 10 and another first down for Miami.
Everything starts with, I think, an improved accuracy for both quarterbacks. And take a look at Brian Hartline. He's a guy that's going to always catch it when the ball's thrown to him. But Tannehill, he talked about it being a good decision maker. But accuracy and ball placement to his talented wide receivers is really going to help this offense to flourish.
I'll take that back. That was a gain of 10, 3rd and 2. Looked like he was going to get the necessary distance, but he was short. So a 3rd and 2. And they got Clay for a second time on this drive. Belted out of bounds and hit by Hayden. And it's a gain of 6 on the play as we take you to New York and James Brown.
The one steady, Tom Brady. That's right. Hey, Kevin Solomon off of a C.J. Spiller fumble. Tom Brady capitalizes. Julian Edelman in the back of the end zone. That's 49 straight regular season games with a touchdown pass for Tom Brady. They're up 7-0.
Showing how it's done. Kevin Harlan, Solomon Wilcox.
And Brady's got some new weapons this year.
And you know, Brady watched the game Thursday night with Peyton Manning. You don't think he's sharpening his sword on this Sunday?
Exactly. They get a first down on the 6-yard catch by Clay from the 39 for Ryan Tannehill. Good time. Underneath and Miller. Hit by DeQuell Jackson. Gain of 7 on the play to the 46.
Ryan Tannehill, he has experience in the offense. Watch him read and rip through his progression. He goes to his left, and now watch the head as it moves back to his right. Then he goes further to his right where he dumps it off and to his check down running back. But Tannehill's experience in the offense, now in his second year, I've seen a more confident and more comfortable quarterback.
Well, he's hit his last 5. He's looking pretty comfortable right now. Second down and 3. Miller, all hit by T.J. Ward. He was a SI.com All-Pro member last year. Terrific second-round pick out of Oregon 4 years ago. He throws him for a 2-yard loss back to about the 44.
You know, when we talked to Joe Philbin yesterday, he said that the running game in the preseason was not their #1 priority. He said now it is. And obviously they wanted to see who was going to replace Reggie Bush as their primary ball carrier. Would it be Lamar Miller or Daniel Thomas? But they wanted to get the passing game going, and these free agent wide receivers integrated into the offense. It was priority #1, but they've got to be able to run the ball better here today.
9th play of the drive, 3rd and 5. Timeout, first one. Tannehill will burn it right there. Looked like a little bit of confusion, whether he's changing the play or declaring his protections. He takes time. We're late in the first.
Well, we're back, and here's what Tannehill was looking at. He was seeing a moving defensive front, and they're bluffing right up here. You've got DeQuell Jackson coming up at the line of scrimmage, and now he's running out of time, trying to check out of it with a confusing blitzing look, and you can see Tannehill is forced to burn a timeout. Ray Horton's defense, they're going to move around a lot, trying to confuse the protections and the young quarterback, and that time Tannehill was forced to call a timeout.
It is 3rd and 5, the nickel for the Cleveland Browns. And we got movement. Now we'll find out if Kruger was induced or if others were moving before him.
Neutral zone infraction. Defense number 89 jumped into the neutral zone, causing a nascent reaction. 5-yard penalty. The yardage results.
There you see Tyson Clabo, the veteran right tackle, 9 years in this league. He understands that it was Kruger. You know, the undersized guys, they've got to get an advantage. You can see 5th most penalties last year were the Cleveland Browns, something they have to improve upon drastically.
Matthews becomes an extra receiver. Tannehill, by the way, has completed 2 third-down passes on this drive. And incomplete, almost picked off by Robertson, going for Hartline.
You know, this isn't the first time that Ryan Tannehill has seen a Ray Horton 3-4 defense. Last year, week 4, Ray Horton, defensive coordinator then of the Arizona Cardinals, brought his defense to Miami, and Tannehill shredded them for over 400 yards passing in that game. It was a game they lost in overtime, but he created some big plays, over 200 yards receiving on the day for Brian Hartline. So, you know, this quarterback wide receiver tandem, they've seen the looks of Ray Horton's defense before.
431 yards to be exact, but they lost in that game in overtime by 3. Here is a 2nd down and 10. Hartline out of Ohio State, who grew up in nearby Canton. Screen was there covering for the Browns to the 45 and a gain of 6.
You know, this August I visited South Florida and attended the Miami Dolphins training camp, and I was very impressed with Brian Hartline. Here's a guy that just continues to get better as a wide receiver now in his 5th year out of Ohio State. He runs great routes. He's an excellent handball catcher. He can beat any savvy defensive back in the National Football League because he's an excellent route runner and really allows the quarterback to make plays.
Hartline had 74 receptions a season ago. Led him in receiving. 3rd down and 4. Tannehill deep. Nice catch by Clay. Another one on this drive. Hit by Ward. He goes to the 25. He picks up 20. Another 1st down for the Dolphins.
Oh, this is just a great throw by Tannehill. Watch it on the back shoulder of Charles Clay, because he doesn't lead him into the hit. He actually leads him away from it. And yeah, TJ Ward's going to lay a lick on him, but by putting it on the back shoulder, he doesn't run him into the defender and still allows Charles Clay to make that catch. Remember, he's replacing Dustin Keller as the Dolphins tight end.
Clay only had 18 receptions all of last season. He's had some big ones on this drive. 20 right there. Here's a 1st and 10. Lamar Miller. Not much there. Kruger makes the stop and a loss of 2 on the play. So on this drive, Tannehill, who completed those 2 3rd down passes, has hit Hartline for 10 and 6. He's hit Clay for 6 and 20 and hit Miller for 7. He's had a nice looking drive, which started back Solomon at the 15-yard line.
Yeah, Kevin, I want to reference that last hit by TJ Ward on Charles Clay. You saw TJ Ward go low. Had he gone high to the head or neck area, he would have been penalized for a hit on a defenseless player. He's forced to go low, and they don't throw a penalty flag for going low. But it is on that kind of play where they lost Dustin Keller for the season.
Boy, they're watching it, aren't they, huh?
That's right.
15th play of the drive, 2nd and 12. Incomplete for Hartline, who got it on the juggle. The coverage by Screen, they rule it incomplete.
We thought Screen would be out for the day, and Hartline catches everything. Even though the ball is knocked out by Screen. Watch, initially he has it. Good play by Screen to pry the ball loose as he slammed it to the ground. And look at Hartline, he stays with it, but he catches it out of bounds. That's a receiver that every quarterback can rely upon, and just excellent defense by Buster Screen.
Screen battling his shoulder, had a very good camp. And he held off Chris Owens for the starting job. Here's a 3rd and 12 for Ryan Tannehill. Incomplete. He was hit hard that time. Jackson came through. They had Desmond Bryant pushing the pocket. Tannehill had a lot of pressure. They're going to try for 3, and Cleveland keeps him out of the end zone.
Yeah, everyone was tightly covered on the back end, and then pressure on Tannehill forced him to throw it behind the intended receiver as we get a penalty flag on the play.
Kind of a late one, unless it was concealed by those big bodies on the line. Watch the hit on Tannehill here.
Yeah, it could be a hit to the head of the quarterback by DeQuell Jackson. It could give the Dolphins a new set of downs.
You could almost see Jackson when he was coming in, zeroing in on Tannehill, almost trying to move his head, thinking at the last second, I got to move my head.
And that's what they're discussing right now. You know, how do you try to determine the intent? But if you can clearly see him trying to pull off, you may have to pick up the flag.
Mike Carey.
There is no foul on the play. All the action was legal. 4th down.
All the action was legal. DeQuell Jackson. He's a veteran, 8-year defender in the league. Watch, see how he leans with the head, but then I think he tries to let up. Right there. There is. Is it a forcible blow to the head? And I think that's what the officials tried to determine, that it wasn't forcible enough to incur the infraction.
Rookie Caleb Sturgis, a Florida Gator. They cut Dan Carpenter back in mid-August after 5 years. Here is a 45-yard try by the rookie, and a wind in his face. to go up, take the lead right down the middle. 45-yard field goal. Hartline with the catch of 10. Clay with the catch of 20. Tannehill completing a couple third down passes for Joe Philbin.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by McDonald's. I'm loving it. And by the 2013 Ford F-150 with EcoBoost.
Bonomosi. Beautiful shot at Cleveland. There's a 45-yard field goal in the pocket for the rookie Sturgis, who has it teed up at the 35. 3-0 after a 15-play drive orchestrated by Tannehill. Over 7 minutes on the first quarter clock and the ensuing kickoff. Bonomosi. And Matt, that was Bobby Rainey. That was Bobby Rainey. It's a 22-yard return. Rainey was just released by Baltimore, and they put him back there, and he gets it. He just joined the team on Tuesday. So he's a young player, as is Sturgis, who just put the Dolphins up 3-0 late in the first in Cleveland. There's a beautiful look at Cleveland, and our aerial coverage of today's game is provided by DirecTV. We just had a field goal by Miami. Here is a Richardson 1st and 10 run, and the hit right there is Soliai on that line. He's a nice player on that Miami defensive front. There's no gain on the play. You know, Solomon, the Browns have been either 4-12 or 5-11 each of the last 5 seasons.
Yeah, now they have a new owner, a new president, and new general manager, new head coach, and the energy and enthusiasm in what is a brand new building. $5 million of renovations offer, I think, the players here new hope, but now they got to prove it on the field.
Whedon on 2nd down and 10. Looking for Little, and Patterson was right there with the stop. It's a gain of 8 on the play. He'll be to the 27-yard line for Cleveland.
And what did their left tackle, the veteran Joe Thomas, tell us now in his 7th season as we take a look at Rob Chizensky, their new head coach? He said, this is the most optimism I've felt in my 7 years here with the Cleveland Browns. And their new owner, Jimmy Haslam, I think deserves a lot of credit of giving the coaching staff and the organization and the players everything they need to go out and play well.
Obadiah is out there, 3rd down and 2. Best was also in the game, and that is juggled and maybe picked up by Patterson. It is. It's the 2nd turnover. No, it is incomplete. It is incomplete. He says he got it.
He tried to get it.
He tried to say he got it.
This ball comes off the hand of another receiver, Greg Little.
Yeah.
And look, he almost has it. Ball hit the ground right there. But did the ball move? I thought he had it for a second. Might even be worth challenging if you're Joe Philbin.
Oh, I definitely would challenge. And they have. The red challenge flag has been thrown by Joe, and I think it's a pretty good call.
Wow.
With Patterson thinking he reeled it in. And the coaching staff has the big screen TV in their booth so they can take a look at it too on replay, much like you are right now.
Yeah, take a look at it.
The ruling on the field is an incomplete pass being challenged by Miami.
Do you have enough to overturn the call on the field? There's the catch. It's made. Now, once it hits the ground, does the ball bobble, move, or rotate in the possession of Nolan Carroll?
I think he presses it against his chest, his stomach, and reeled it in. Let's see when we come back.
Did Dimitri Patterson intercept his pass? It's ruled on the field as an incomplete. He catches it there. Then once it hits the ground, see how it sort of bounces into his chest. Does he pull it into his chest, or does the ground cause the ball to move towards his chest? I think it's very difficult to tell. He catches it right here, Kevin. It's clearly caught. And now you have to ask yourself, is there any kind of rotation or movement on the ball? I don't think so. I would have to overturn it. But it's going to be tough to tell how the officials are reviewing it. Joe Philbin, when we talked to him yesterday, he said their #1 goal this entire preseason was to create more turnovers on the defensive side of the ball. Already 1 interception by Nolan Carroll. This could be a 2nd by Dimitri Patterson.
Patterson hasn't had an interception since he played with the Eagles back in 2010. Cleveland last couple years.
After review, the defender had clear control of the ball and maintained it through the process of going to the ground, and therefore it's an interception. It'll be Miami's ball, 1st and 10 on the 25-yard line, Cleveland's hash mark. Miami will not be charged with a team timeout.
Yeah, I thought he caught it right there, Kevin. And then see, it does hit the ground, but he did maintain control. The ball did not force the ball to move while it was in possession of Patterson, giving them their 2nd interception of the game. Remember, this Dolphins defense went 8 games, nearly half their regular season games last year, without creating a turnover. Only 16 on the season. Point of emphasis this offseason and already paying off in the first quarter.
Yeah, they're -10. Only 7 teams were worse in the turnover ratio. As we see Daniel Thomas at the side of Tannehill, and a 1st and 10. Clay at the bottom of your screen from the Cleveland 27. Whedon has thrown 2 interceptions already here in the first. Gets away from Jackson. Brought down by Craig Robertson, undrafted out of North Texas. Finished strong last year. He's a starter. He picks up 3, does Tannehill, moving up in the pocket, which takes us to the end of the first. So Whedon with the 2 interceptions. Sturgis, the rookie, with the Dolphin 45-yard field goal. At the end of 1, Miami 3-zip. Tough start for Whedon here in the opener of the 2013 season.
Yeah, Whedon's probably wishing, I wish the team went out and spent money to get me some new receivers, because Greg Little, one of the interceptions went off his hand. I thought the first one could have been contested better by, of course, Travis Benjamin. He allows it to get intercepted. I'm sure Whedon's wondering what does he have to do to complete passes to his intended receivers.
Starting the second quarter, 2nd down and 7. Thomas in the backfield. And he gets the call, and jumping on his back is Billy Wynn with the gain of 1. Down to the 23 as we take you to New York and James Brown.
Dalton and Green. Well, Andy Dalton started the game by throwing an interception, but then comes back 9 plays, 97 yards. A.J. Green, 2-yard TD pass. Game is tied 7-7 between the Bengals and the Bears.
Green, 2 catches for 44 yards on that TD drive. Kevin Harlan, Solomon Wilcox.
All right, JB, thank you. 3rd down and 6 here. Thomas remains. 5 in the Cleveland secondary for Tannehill, who needs the 17. Up the middle they come. Desmond Bryant, who has spent the last 4 years with the Oakland Raiders, brings them down. A sack right there and a loss of 5. They'll have to settle for 3 again.
He's working against the right guard right there. John Jerry pushes him right back into the face of Ryan Tannehill. Jerry's one of those guys that won the starting job, but look at the coverage on the back end. Plastered to every single receiver except underneath here, but Tannehill doesn't have time to find him.
Well, this will be a 49-yard field goal try by Caleb Sturgis. And that is good. So the rookie is 2 of 2, putting the Dolphins up 6-0, cashing in on the interception by Dimitri Patterson. Sun has now broken through the clouds here in Cleveland. Coming up, the Verizon halftime report. JB, Dan, Shannon, Boomer, Coach Bill Cowher for the latest scores and highlights, plus a special preview of the U.S. Open women's final between Azarenka and Serena Williams. All coming up on the Verizon halftime report. And the rookie Sturgis, who found out he was drafted on the golf course on the 3rd day of the draft. Here's the kickoff, and it goes to Bobby Rainey. Played only minimally for the Baltimore Ravens a year ago. 21-yard return.
Take a look at the 2 interceptions by Brandon Wheaton. I thought Travis Benjamin can contest for this ball. Do not allow Nolan Carroll to come down with that interception. And then Greg Little's just got to catch the ball. It's deflected off his hands. And Brandon Wheaton saying, hey, I've got to be able to trust that my receivers are going to fight for the football and come down with it and not allow the defender to come away with 2 interceptions in the first quarter. Greg Little there.
Obanaya is in the backfield with Richardson with the 1st and 10. Trent Richardson. Cousins with the block, and there's another tackle made by the Pro Bowler Randy Starks. It's a gain of 2 to the 17-yard line.
And right now, the Cleveland Browns are not able to manufacture enough rushing yards to give Wheaton and this offense an opportunity to operate. Look at the defenders. Look at the white hats cutting off the backside. And Richardson is not pressing the hole to the front side, and you can see their first 3 possessions of the game. Interception, punt, interception, no more than 8 plays on that first drive.
Derek Shelby on that line for Miami. 2nd down and 8. Whedon caught by Devon Bess. And the former Dolphin weaves its way into the grasp of Jones. An 18-yard catch and run to the 34.
The former Miami Dolphin, Bess, working against Patterson. Look at him shake loose there, and then a nice catch. This is the guy that may have to help Brandon Wheaton the most as a wide receiver until Josh Gordon returns. We get a flag down on the play, but Bess is a guy who's average.
Personal foul. Defense, major face mask number 75 will be forced from the end of the run, 15 yards. Automatic first down.
Wow.
I didn't catch the number for the Dolphin player, and they said 75. There is no 79, they must mean right there. Shelby, who I just mentioned, was in. Oh, they got the wrong team.
10-yard penalty is still second.
75 is Cousins, who is the guard. They had the wrong team and the wrong guy.
And the play is going to come back. Must have the dismay of Rob Chizinski. Head coach, look at this. Just take a look right here. That's Cousins there.
Right in the
Goes
face
right
mask.
to the face right there.
Solely eye.
Wow. That's just an undisciplined play, what we call an unforced error by Cousins.
He's playing for the injured Pinkston and Laval, so they had to move Cousins from tackle to guard as they're battling the two guys above him at that position being nicked up. So now 2nd down and 16 with the Browns. Solomon back at their 8.
Chizinski said that he wants a quarterback who can respond when things don't go well. Well, things haven't gone well for Cleveland in the early going of this game.
Putting his quarterback throwing a couple of interceptions. This is Bess. And jumping on him is Carroll, who has one of those interceptions. There's Devon picking up 4 right there. He came in a trade from Miami during the draft, and that's when the Dolphins went after Gibson as the replacement.
And a lot of people are saying that for a team that's struggling to find wide receivers, why did the Dolphins trade him? Well, remember, they traded him before they lost Dustin Keller to that injury in the preseason. And Cleveland, I think, gets a really good receiver. Devon Bess is one of those guys that's averaged 50 or more receptions every year since he's been in the league 5 seasons ago when he came out of Hawaii.
And the second most 3rd down receptions in the entire NFL during those 5 years. 3rd and 12 for Whedon. Schwartz with the block. Obanaya outside and slipping through his grasp, Philip Wheeler, who was there with knocking him down. It's a gain of 10 shy of the first down by a couple yards. So here comes another punt. So Cleveland, Solomon, has had an interception, 3 and punt, interception, and here's another punt coming up for the Browns.
Yeah, but the coverage did not allow Wheaton to press the ball down the field. Had he thrown the ball anywhere else, it would have been intercepted. I think he took what the defense gave him. It's up to Obanaya to shake loose and be able to create a first down by creating yards after the catch. Didn't happen. Good job by the Miami Dolphins defense.
Spencer Lanning, who spent some time with Chicago and Cleveland in camp over the last couple years out of South Carolina, knocks it to Marcus Thigpen, who was hit by Bartimaeus and brought down, and then Screen came in there to finish him off. 50-yard punt early in the second. Joe Philbin watching his Dolphins lead 6-0.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. The Home Depot. More saving, more doing. That's the power of the Home Depot. And by DirecTV. If you call yourself a sports fan, you've got to get DirecTV.
2 field goals over 40 yards apiece by the rookie Sturgis. Saturday, the Home Depot SEC on CBS hits the field running as Nick Saban's top-ranked and 2-time defending national champion Crimson Tide rolls against Heisman winner Johnny Manziel and the Aggies. I don't know if we've ever had a better early season game than this, all beginning with college football today, 3 Eastern, right here on CBS next Saturday. Alabama, Texas A&M. So here we go now with the 4th possession by Miami. Tannehill, 1st down and 10. Pocket crumbles and down he goes. A sack right there turned in by Quentin Groves. He's good on special teams. Comes through right there with the sack.
Well, there's a lot of opportunities to make plays. There's Groves at the top working against Jonathan Martin at the left tackle position. But a lot of opportunities for a lot of playmakers to get to the quarterback, create interceptions in Ray Horton's zone blitz defense. We talked about him being a disciple of Dick LeBeau and learning that defense. Quentin Groves played for Ray Horton in Arizona, has great experience in the scheme.
Running back Daniel Thomas remains, 2nd and 14. This goes off to Thomas out of Kansas State. And DeQuell Jackson hauls him down at about the 28-yard line on a catch and run of 5. Mike Sherman had some pretty interesting comments about his quarterback, saying that he will be the most improved quarterback in the NFL from year 1 to year 2.
And he's heard about it. Everyone in South Florida has reminded him of those comments. Even his head coach, Joe Philbin, has said something. We talked to Ryan Tannehill. He said, I just see it as a vote of confidence for Mike Sherman, and I plan to prove him right. I think so far we've seen some improvement just in his overall confidence and demeanor.
Into the nickel, 3rd down and 9. Throw that dead. False start, perhaps. Yep.
False start. Offense number 11. 5-yard penalty, still 3rd down.
Well, before Johnny Manziel and Kevin Sumlin, there was Tannehill and Mike Sherman. The duo spent 4 years at A&M together from 08 to 11. Before Sherman took the Dolphins' offensive coordinator's position after getting fired at A&M, and then 3 months later, they reunite the quarterback Tannehill he had down in College Station and him.
And coming out of the draft, Tannehill, everyone gave Sherman credit for turning him from a wide receiver to a quarterback. We talked to Tannehill. He says he was never in meetings with the other wide receivers, had always been a quarterback.
3rd and 14. Good block by Thomas, and then he's devoured. Desmond Bryant had a sack earlier. It's the 3rd sack by the Browns, the 2nd by Bryant, and Miami has got a punt.
Well, this is, look at, you can see they're coming here. Of course, my telestrator's not working. Go ahead and roll it, but Des Bryant, number 92, he's pressuring. Phil Taylor's getting a push, number 99. The spin move by Bryant comes off Richie Incognito and is able to get the sack. But right now, they're having a tough time figuring out who to block. That's what this defense is designed to do, to confuse your protection scheme and have the offensive line guessing as to who to pick up.
Bryant in his first year with the Browns came as a free agent. Brandon Fields. His first one sailed 52 yards. Here comes Travis Benjamin. And brought down. Beautiful special teams play right there. A flag has been thrown. A 60-yard punt. And rookie Don Jones out of Arkansas State, who was a 7th-round pick by the Finns, comes up with the stop. And a busy Mike Carey here on opening weekend in Cleveland, Ohio. Sturgis with a couple field goals of 45 and 49 as the penalty goes against Miami.
Illegal formation. Offense only 6 men on the line of scrimmage. 5-yard penalty, repeat, 4th down.
All right, you got to have more than that on the line of scrimmage. See right there, only 6 guys up front. That means too many guys in the backfield, Kevin. So they're going to pull it back. Joe Philbin's not happy about that because that's just an unforced error and an overall lack of execution.
Pretty disciplined, as you see right there, with the 3rd fewest penalties a season ago. And one of the things which does afflict these teams on opening weekend, you've got a lot of guys who didn't play special teams in high school or in college and even the preseason, now playing here in the regular season because they need bodies.
Yeah, when you cut from 90 to 47 players and keep 8 guys on the developmental squad, you literally let 37 guys go. Those are the guys who played most of the special teams during the preseason.
Fields again. And Benjamin driven way back. Former Hurricane at the University of Miami. And look at him, we're getting by Denny on the move and finally brought down by Jelani Jenkins, a rookie from Florida. A 31-yard return by Travis Benjamin on a 66-yard punt. That's exactly what the Browns need here on opening day. And this is the guy, one of the fastest on the team to do it. Dog Pound enjoying moments ago that 31-yard punt return by Floridian Travis Benjamin from Belglade. Florida. They're state champions there in high school. First down and 10 from the 49 of Miami. Brandon Weeden getting a good block from his tight end and dancing for some room and buying time. And he's got Jordan Cameron, his tight end, and he was not touched, and that is a touchdown. Oh my goodness. Untouched Jordan Cameron. A block by the other tight end. Barnage bought the quarterback Weeden time, and he hits Cameron on a 49-yard touchdown pass.
He's got plenty of time. Excellent job by the offensive line. Look at the poise of Brandon Weeden. He finds Jordan Cameron matched up against Brent Grimes. I think Grimes may have touched him. At least Grimes thought he did. He's even arguing with the official that I touched him. But Jordan Cameron's not going to leave it up to anyone else. He gets up, starts to run. The officials, remember, it was ruled a touchdown on the field.
Yeah, he was down, and they say now they just ruled the definitive look, although that is pretty good, would be a sideline view because we can't get the perspective. Let's watch this one.
It looks like right there.
He got sure.
See, he pushes him down right there, and then he still had a hand on him. So, you know, Grimes is a 7-year veteran, a really good player in this league. And when he didn't get up and start running, as active as he is as a player, you had to wonder why, and he knew he had laid hands on Jordan Cameron. See, right there, pushed him to the ground. Which is not a strong hand, Kevin.
No.
I think he faintly touched him.
Couple tight ends here after the 22-yard catch by Cameron. First and 10. Weeden Schwartz the block at the right tackle. That is intercepted and picked off by Patterson. The third pick of Weeden and brought down. Oh, fan right there by Richardson. Then Benjamin jumps on him and brings him down. 3 first-half interceptions by Brandon Weeden. Deflections for sure. The second interception for Patterson.
Wow, this was deflected. I think it's a little high, Kevin, but you've got to make the catch. In fact, it was high and a little bit behind him. Give Donnell Ellerbe a little credit because, look, he's leaning on Cameron. The ball goes up in the air. And in the NFL, you intercept all tips and overthrows. That one was slightly overthrown. It was certainly tipped by Jordan Cameron, and Demetri Patterson comes away with his second interception of the game.
Well, Patterson, who played for Cleveland last couple years, he was injured. They released him. Then he had a couple starts at the end of last year for Miami. He's had a guy who's had all kinds of issues with health, but he's got 2 interceptions coming back and attacking the team that cut him a year ago. Tannehill on first and 10. A little bit hot right there. That's incomplete. Looking for Hartline. Screen was in the vicinity. Second and 10.
So it goes from feast to famine. There's a catch by Jordan Cameron. Makes a great play. Smartly getting up and running. And now this one thrown behind him a bit. He deflects it. Picked off. And so the Cleveland Browns just keep biting themselves. I thought that pass could have been thrown much better by Brandon Weeden. It was thrown high and behind the intended receiver.
Lamar Miller is back in as the running back in this series. Here is a second down and 10 from the 22. And this is the aforementioned Miller. They're trying to offer a block and a wonderful defensive play by linebacker Craig Robertson, undrafted. He finished strong, as you mentioned, a year ago. He throws him for a loss of 2, and it's back to the 20.
Say what you want, but they're playing defense here in Cleveland. Look at this play by Craig Robertson. Look at him. Comes up, scraping, continues to press, what we call containing the football by keeping that outside arm free. And Ray Horton, when I talked to him, he said it takes about 6 weeks for this defense to really click. That's what happened when he was the DC in Arizona. It looks like they're clicking already here in Cleveland.
Robertson had some practice squad time. 3rd and 12. Good time for Tannehill, and right on the screws, caught by Gibson. And the free agent from St. Louis to the 35, pickup of 15 and a first down for Miami.
This is just a really good throw over to Brandon Gibson. He's going to be covered by Tayshaun Gibson on the play. The safety comes up to make the play, but not before Wallace can pick up the first down.
Tayshaun spells his Gibson with a P, and we know that Brandon spells his with a B. First and 10. What is spelling for us as Tannehill goes across the middle, and he's got the receiver here again. This is Hartline, who Robertson touches and brings down. Ryan Hartline over 1,000 yards receiving a season ago. 13-yard pickup too after the 15-yarder to Gibson.
Well, that's a good example of Hartline contesting for the ball. Watch him knife in front of the defender. He doesn't allow that ball to get to the defender. You do what you have to do to protect that ball, keep it away from the defense, and still come away with the catch.
Hartline with a 10-yard reception earlier, a 13-yard one right there. 1st and 10.
Yeah.
Play clock at 6, as you can see upper right hand. Tannehill. Nice contorted catch there by rookie Deion Sims out of Michigan State, 4th-round pick. And that was Gibson, excuse me.
Yeah, Gibson made a nice adjustment on the ball.
The stop. Yep, gain of 5 right there by Gibson, who caught one on this drive for 15 moments ago.
You love what you're seeing from Ryan Tannehill. Yeah, he's distributing the ball to multiple receivers. We've seen Wallace, Hartline. We've seen Charles Clay make catches. And Gibson coming down with the ball. He's getting a good look at the defense. He's reading the defense and then just taking whatever this Cleveland Brown defense is giving him.
2nd down and 5. Miller. And Burrows inside the 45 and picks up 3 on the play.
Take a look at this, Kevin. This is a little wrinkle, a read option play by Tannehill. Watch him stick the ball in the belly of the back. Now watch him carry out the run fake. He's reading the defensive end on the line of scrimmage. And see him carry out that play, trying to lure the outside defender. In that case, it was Jabal Sheard away from the run game. And Tannehill talked about it. He will run it. He said he doesn't look to have big gains on the play, but he will keep it.
Thomas is in. Matthews is the 3rd receiver. 3rd and 2. Hartline. Screen defended. And picking up 5 to the 40. That's another Miami 1st down.
Last year, Ryan Tannehill was the first quarterback they had taken in the 1st round since Dan Marino. Here's why. This is a rocket over outside the numbers to Brian Hartline. He catches that ball well before Screen can challenge and contest for the ball. That was just an excellent throw.
We mentioned before that Hartline is from nearby North Canton, Ohio, a high school hurdler, state champion in high school in the state of Ohio. He's had a nice day so far. 8th play of the drive. 1st and 10. Thomas was in the backfield. That's intercepted and picked off on the play by Tayshaun Gibson, who is brought down by Rashard Matthews. Tayshaun Gibson, undrafted out of Wyoming. His 2nd career interception. 28-yard return. Tannehill has thrown a pick, and the Browns get it back.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Bose, the official home audio sponsor of the NFL. And by the U.S. Postal Service. Schedule your free package pickup today.
As we return to Cleveland, we can see this pass is going to be intercepted. DeQuell Jackson, ball intended for Brandon Gibson. See DeQuell Jackson on the left. Watch him spin back in, tight window, tipped, then picked off by Tayshaun Gibson.
And Trent Richardson on 1st and 10 picks up 4 right into the teeth of that defense.
Yeah, and Tannehill thought he can squeeze it in there, but look at DeQuell Jackson. He spun all the way back around to close off that passing lane, and you intercept all tips and overthrows. That's exactly what happened on the play.
Whedon on 2nd and 5 swings that one to Bess, who's down at about the 40-yard line and picks up 10 and a 1st down for Cleveland.
Well, Bess is a tremendous, I think, improvement to the wide receiving corps. We've already showed you where guys have not able to catch the ball, or maybe not contesting for the ball, but every time it's thrown to Devon Bess, he's able to come away with it and make a play for Brandon Wheat.
Battled some knee tendonitis in camp, so he hadn't really been playing all that much over the last couple of weeks, but putting his fingerprints on today, the ex-Dolphin from the 41, 1st and 10. Then as he throws, deflect, almost picked off, and that is off the hands of Little. Boy, he's had a tough day. A lot of balls he has not been able to lasso.
Well, Cameron Wake provided pressure and hit Whedon as he was throwing the play. And this is what Cameron Wake will do. Coming off the right side of your screen. Watch him turn the corner right there against Mitchell Schwartz, and that's what forced the errant pass. Little can't hold on to it. And boy, the Browns are lucky that one wasn't intercepted.
Dolphins staying in that base. Here's a 2nd down and 10 with Richardson in the backfield for Wheaton.
Kansas, Express! Set up!
Trent Richardson, Koamisi, and Odrick, I think, slowed him down. As you can see, the flag was thrown in on the play.
O'Neal Cousins is struggling right now in the game.
Offense number 75. 10-yard penalty, still second down.
Oh, he's going to hold Jared Odrick, who knifed in nicely to make the play. Watch number 98 against the right guard, 75. Look how he knifes in underneath, grabs him right there. And everyone saw it, including the officials.
Well, it's his 6th career start today. We've already told you about the different configuration, him moving from tackle to guard. Who began as a 3rd-round pick by the Baltimore Ravens back in 2008.
He is struggling and hurting the cause of the Cleveland Browns every time they have an opportunity to make a play. I think what he's already drew at least 2 penalty flags here today.
Wake has his hand in the dirt here for the Dolphins. 2nd down and 20. Obadiah was in the backfield. And that's caught. Cameron hit by Jones. Catch and run to about the 35. 16-yard pickup and a 1st down.
Randy Starks, 94. Pressure in the face of Wheaton. He stares down the barrel, delivers an accurate throw, that time to Jordan Cameron. But he's hit hard by Starks. These interior defensive linemen, Paul Soliai, Randy Starks, Jared Odrick, they, I think, are going to help this Dolphins defense become one of the best in the NFL. The guys they have on the outside, Cameron Wake, Olivier Vernon. We haven't even seen the 1st-round pick, Deion Jordan, where they've got some players in the front 7 of this Dolphins defense.
Jordan has been battling a shoulder injury that he had back in college and aggravated in the preseason. 3rd and 4 will be coming up for the Browns at the 2-minute warning. 3rd and 4, 2-minute warning. Wheaton. Bess tackled by Wheeler to the 27. Gain of 8 on 3rd and 4 and a 1st down.
Oh, and the protection is there, and if Wheaton is throwing it to Devon Bess, it usually turns out good. He's just got a great feel for the coverage. He's able to elude a defender, pick up the 1st down, and, you know, having 3 turnovers here in the 1st half for the Cleveland Browns to be only down by 6 points. They're in a great position. A touchdown here, they could possibly go in at halftime winning this game by 1 point despite the turnovers by Rob Trzynski's young football team.
Dolphins in the nickel, Obadiah in the backfield, flag is thrown.
False start. Offense number 84. 5-yard penalty is still 1st.
Jordan Cameron, the tight end, who's got a catch of 16 on this drive, had a catch of 22 on the previous drive.
They just keep shooting themselves in the foot. Bottom of the screen, there's the movement by Jordan Cameron. Well, the Cleveland Browns are the 2nd youngest team in the National Football League. A lot of young players, but they got to grow up quickly if they're going to turn this around here in Cleveland and play for their new head coach.
Well, they've only won 1 of their last 14 season openers. 1st and 15. Hit and brought down. Starks, Wake. Boy, they came in an avalanche. That's the 1st sack by the Finn defense this afternoon.
Mitchell Schwartz, look, holding Wake, but Wake still gets there. I don't know how Brandon Wheaton holds onto that ball when he never saw Wake coming. Cameron Wake, 15 sacks 1 year ago, Kevin. He's adding to his overall career total, and what a story coming out of Penn State, undrafted, having to play in Canada, a real difference maker on this Dolphins defense.
Timeout taken. Couple of field goals, one by way of 45 yards. Another Sturgis field goal of 49. The rookie for the Dolphins coming through. 2nd down and 21. Wake, all-pro a season ago. And they go for Bess, who makes the grab, and Patterson forces him out, and there is a flag. Patterson's got a couple of picks. Flag thrown coming up. Verizon halftime report from New York. JB and company. NFL scores, news, and highlights, plus a preview of the U.S. women's.
From New England run, half the distance to the goal.
There was a face mask, and it goes on Patterson.
Oh, big penalty. He's just going out of bounds. Why would you grab the face mask? We always talk about using the sideline as that 12th defender. You have help. If you're Patterson, don't have to grab the face mask. Just force him out of bounds. And I'm sure that's what Coach Joe Philbin's thinking as Cleveland's now knocking on the door, Kevin.
Richardson back in, 1st down and 10. Soliai back in the middle for the, he knocks it away. Soliai just came in for Starks and batted that ball away. in the final year of his contract and coming up strong here.
Oh, we told you the front seven on this defense is relentless. Audrick's there, Soliai's there, Vernon's there. And right now, Kevin Coyle, the defensive coordinator for the Miami Dolphins, he's dialing up one blitz after another. Remember, Whedon had 25 passes batted down last year, the most any quarterback since 2006.
Any reason why? As it took a look at some of that.
Sometimes the depth of your drops contribute to that, and then the offensive line getting pushed in the face of the quarterback is another contributing factor.
Time play of the drive, 2nd down and 10. The tight end Cameron, chased by Koamisi. And in the secondary, they had Patterson, gain of 10.
Love the design of this play because, you know, he lines up to the right side of the formation, comes clear back the other way across the motion, and then the way he finishes off this run against Patterson, he wants that first down marker. That's great awareness by Jordan Cameron. Knew where that first down marker was, knew where he had to get to pick up a new set of downs.
So gain of 10. He had a gain of 16 on this drive, which started back at the Cleveland 44. And a timeout taken. Cleveland has one remaining. Not everyone can be a quarterback, so get inside the minds of those guys that have. Phil Simms, Rich Gannon, Steve Burwine, and host Adam Schein. When NFL Monday QB returns at a special time tomorrow, 5 Eastern, only on CBS Sports Network, the 24-hour home of CBS Sports. Wilson is coming as an extra DB for Miami. Audrick and Soliai in the middle. 1st and goal at the 4. Obanaya is the running back. Good time. Here comes Wake. And there goes the ball. He had Wake on his heels and Olivier Vernon, who is coming from the edge. Flag has been thrown. A hold on the play. It's on Miami.
Holding defense, number 59, half the distance to the goal, automatic. First down.
Donnell Ellerbe.
Yeah, Ellerbe is matched up in coverage, and it's going to be right in the left corner of the end zone, and he's going to, as you can see right there, well, it's actually right there on Bess. See right there? And that's where it occurs. He pushes him down to the ground. He didn't just shove him. He took him out of the play. Remember, the Dolphins had the league's #1 ranked red zone defense 1 year ago. It was very difficult to score against this team inside the red zone. Cleveland trying to break that trend here at the end of the first half.
Miami wants a timeout as Cleveland huddled quickly. And now the Dolphins have one timeout. Joe Philbin wanting to talk things over. So here's a game which is being led on a couple long Miami field goals. The Cleveland quarterback for Rob Chudzinski, the head coach making his debut in that position in his hometown for the hometown Browns. Whedon has thrown 3 interceptions, yet they're only down by 2 field goals.
And what did Rob Chudzinski tell us when we spoke with him on Friday? He says, you know, I have a young quarterback, but where I really judge and grade my quarterbacks is how well do they play when things don't go right. Well, things haven't gone right for Brandon Wheaton in the first half with those 3 interceptions you talked about, but here he has them on the move, completing passes to Devon Best, to Jordan Cameron, looking to score their first touchdown of the game, and they could end up taking a lead going in at halftime.
A Cleveland interception set up this drive. 1st and goal at the 2. Richardson back in. From the side, Clemens the blitz, and did Best pick it off the grass? Yes, he did. Makes a 1-yard reception on another catch, and on this drive he's had catches of 10 and 8. Flag thrown.
Can't say enough about the arm strength of Wheaton on that play.
Illegal formation, offense, only 6 men on the line of scrimmage, 5-yard penalty, still first.
37 seconds remaining, and Cleveland with a single timeout.
Too many men in the backfield, and that's a problem. Can't have 6 or 5 guys in the backfield. See, you don't have enough up on the line of scrimmage, and right here, the receiver to the outside, up top, has to be on the line. It was called against Devon Best, and that's where the penalty flag came down on that side of the field.
Six defensive backs in for Miami. 1st and goal at the 7. Obanaya in the backfield. That was deflected at the line. Yeah, and there's a flag that may have been against Soliai, who got a hand on it. Yep, he said, yeah, it was me. It was me.
Pass interference. Defense number 21.
But when there's a deflection, it can't be that.
Well, maybe it was a hold before the ball was deflected. And that's the discussion I'm sure Coach Philbin's.
Therefore, there's no
There
defensive
you go.
interference.
There you go.
Second down.
If the hold was before the tip occurred, before the ball was ever thrown, then it's going to be upheld. But if they're happening simultaneously, then they're not going to call it. Look at Soliai's coming in and Jared Odrick. This is a Dolphins defense that had 8 sacks inside the red zone. Second in the National Football League 1 year ago. Boy, you get their backs up against that goal line, they come after your quarterback.
Now the Finns have gone to 5 in the secondary, and Whedon's got it second and goal at the 7. Here comes Vernon. There goes Whedon. What a catch! That is a Cleveland touchdown. Jordan Cameron. 7-yard throw by Whedon.
Wow. That's all you can say. Because he's double covered on the play. Watch, he's bracketed between Philip Wheeler, and then Grimes picks him up on the other side. And this ball is still completed for a touchdown. How do you do that? Rob Jasinski is ecstatic. Great throw by Brandon Wheaton to beat double coverage on the play.
Jordan going up like he was looking for a rebound in basketball, and it would make sense. He played some college basketball, BYU and USC. Converted to an NFL tight end. Terrific catch, 7-yard throw. Here is Billy Cundiff with the extra point. And that puts Cleveland on top 7-6, even though their quarterback has thrown 3 interceptions. And the first half has 28 seconds left in it.
This is impressive by Wheaton. The intestinal fortitude to hang in there. And here's going to be the play right here. But watch the double coverage by the linebacker, Philip Wheeler. He's pressed coverage, but he's picking up help to the outside. See, 2 guys right there. And he throws it and threads the needle as you get a reaction from Rob Jasinski. That's when you know your quarterback is doing really good things, because Chud is a Cleveland Brown native, or a native of Toledo, I should say, and a Cleveland Brown fan since he was 5 years old. Look at that. That's coming home. To coach the team that you've always rooted for. He's ecstatic to be here in Cleveland. I think the players are happy to have him.
Of course, he has some Miami roots, too. He was the guy who played under Jimmy Johnson. He's on that staff, and has a lot of ties to the Miami area as well. Dennis Erickson coached him at one time. And he got across the path of Norv Turner when he was the assistant head coach with the San Diego Chargers. And Norv was the head coach there. And so it's been a nice relationship for him. An offensive coordinator last couple of years with Cam Newton down in Carolina with the Panthers.
How about when he was the offensive coordinator here in Cleveland?
Yes, back in the early decade,
2007. Yes. And it was the last time this team won 10 games when he was the offensive coordinator. Sent then quarterback Derek Anderson to a Pro Bowl. That's how proven this system is under their new head coach.
Cundiff the kickoff, and Marcus Thigpen out of Indiana watches it sail over his head, and a touchback to the 20-yard line. Miami will have a single timeout, and they'll start things 1st and 10 at their 20. Well, tomorrow on Under the Dome, with only 2 episodes left, you don't want to miss a minute of the summer's #1 new show. It's a new episode, and it comes your way tomorrow at 10, 9 Central, only on CBS. So we've had a lot of turnovers, 3 interceptions off of Whedon, 2 by Patterson. And we've got, in the last couple possessions for these Dolphins, 3 and out and 8, and an interception on the quarterback, Ryan Tannehill, who with Thomas in the backfield takes a knee, runs it out, and that will take us to halftime.
2 really good defenses, and the 2 second-year quarterbacks have turned the ball over. I tell you, it's going to come down to what defense can help their quarterback the most.
So Cleveland will lead it 7-6 over the Miami Dolphins. Dolphins were 7-9 a season ago. The Browns were 5-11. Beautiful catch by the tight end Cameron. A 7-yard throw by Whedon. That puts the Browns up by 1 at halftime. I think both teams would like to go up. 7-6 1-point lead for the Cleveland Browns. Kevin Harlan along with Solomon Wilcots. Here's some thoughts on the first half.
Well, this score is to be expected because both teams are armed with really good defenses. You got to take note of what the Dolphins defense has done, creating 3 turnovers in the first half of this ball game. But look at Mike Wallace. Of course, they spent so much money to bring in the talented wide receiver. He has not caught a pass so far in this game, and nor was he targeted by Ryan Tannehill.
Tannehill has thrown an interception as well. We've only had 1 touchdown in the game this afternoon, and that was caught by the tight end of the Cleveland Browns, Cameron Jordan, as we take a look at DirecTV's Ultimate Picture.
Oh, how about Brandon Wheaton hanging in there after 3 interceptions in the first half. He comes back with that touchdown pass to Jordan Cameron, throwing in double coverage to take the lead going in at halftime. So he struggled in the early going of the game, but the intestinal fortitude to hang in there to take the lead in this ball game. I think it's going to be interesting in what we see here in the second half. If you're the Dolphins on this opening possession, you've got to get the ball to Mike Wallace and take a shot down the field against one-on-one coverage.
There's Billy Cundiff. He was signed Tuesday after getting cut, and the wind has just blown the ball off the tee. They had a couple of kickers in the Cleveland camp, and both were let go, and they began the week with no one to kick. And they had another kid come in, a kid named Tavecchio, who was with the Green Bay Packers in the preseason. They had a little kickoff, and Cundiff was the winner. And Cundiff is kicking off today and trying field goals. And deep back will be Marcus Thigpen for the Miami Dolphins, who won the flip of the coin early, deferred, and so they get it as we start the second half. And Thigpen, about 8 yards deep, will take it, and tackled by Leon McFadden, the rookie from San Diego State. It's a return of 24 yards. Ryan Tannehill and Whedon, some of the numbers for these second-year quarterbacks in game number 1.
Well, Tannehill's got to get it going. He's doing a good job of really extending the drives, creating third down plays, but he doesn't have a lot to show for it. He's got to take some shots down the field and force this defense to defend every blade of grass. You can see the Dolphins aren't able to run the ball either. They've only rushed for 7 yards so far in the game.
They begin with Daniel Thomas in the backfield for Ryan Tannehill, and it's 1st and 10 from his 17. Martin trying to hold off Shear, going deep, and it was right through the hands of the defensive back, Joe Hayden, who was going up against Mike Wallace. They were a Southeastern Conference matchup years ago as well.
Oh, Hayden's got control. Look at him. He understands that Mike Wallace can run. This ball's got to be thrown much further out and over the top of Mike Wallace. And Tannehill talked about it. They've had a tough time calibrating how far to throw with the phenomenal speed of Mike Wallace. You have all training camp and preseason to adjust it. You expect him to be more effective on that kind of throw.
Clay in the slot, 2nd down and 10. Kruger coming in. He's got the quarterback, and down he goes. Paul Kruger, who played in the Super Bowl for Baltimore. 9 sacks a season ago. A sack right there, a loss of 1, the 4th by Cleveland's D.
Yeah, there it is. Just pressure coming off the left side. Look at this. And it just walked him right back into the quarterback. The right tackle, Tyson Clabo, struggling to keep Kruger from getting the sack. And I told you, both defenses are playing phenomenally well. They've turned up the heat on the opposing quarterback. Both defenses have. They've not been able to make plays throwing the ball down the field.
In the nickel, 3rd and 11. They need the 27. Nobody home. Hartline was in the vicinity. Screen was over there defending. And they got a punt on their first second half possession.
All right, incomplete on the first down play, then sack of Ryan Tannehill, then another incomplete. You know, the pressure provided by the front seven of the Cleveland Browns, I think, is phenomenal. And that's why both quarterbacks, you know, they'll get something going, but then here comes that pressure. Yet again, both defenses have been relentless at getting after the quarterback.
Travis Benjamin is back to retrieve the punt from Fields. Benjamin says that he was mentored a lot by Josh Cribbs while he was here. Cribbs let go by Oakland in the preseason. No longer a Brown. Benjamin waving it off and takes a beautiful Miami bounce. Up the 22-yard line across the way. And so it's a 62-yard punt. A beauty by Fields. And next Sunday, the NFL on CBS, a big-time doubleheader headlined by Manning versus Manning, as Peyton and Eli will take center stage. The early games headlined by Phillip Rivers and the Chargers matching up against Mike Vick and the hurry-up Philadelphia Eagles. Check local listings, and of course it all begins with JB, Dan, Shannon, Coach, and Boomer on the NFL Today. Presented by Southwest Airlines.
Sorry, Kevin, but all eyes will be on that Manning Bowl. If the Giants don't get their pass rush together, Peyton Manning could end up being the winner of that.
Whedon to Richardson on 1st and 10. Breaking tackles except for the grab of Jones. That's a gain of 8. The boy slipped through a couple right there and takes it out near the 30.
They're going to need him to put up some better numbers than what we saw from him in the first half of this ball game. And you can see him, look, press the hole, break one tackle, and then breaking another. This is when he's at his best, when he's breaking tackles. But you'd love to see those holes initially at the line of scrimmage be much bigger for Trent Richardson, getting to the second level of the defense, something this offensive line has not been able to do today.
Richardson from Pensacola gets it again. They've got a couple good backs out of Pensacola. Here comes Clemens. Here comes Soliai. Loss of 3. Back to about the 27-yard line.
Well, you can see the first half, those possession charts: interception, punt, interception, another punt, 3 interceptions, and finally an 11-play drive for 56 yards, all set up by the long punt return by Travis Benjamin. They get the touchdown to Jordan Cameron. Jasinski needs this offense to get greater consistency, and I think it starts with Trent Richardson's ability to run the football.
He's now out, and Obadiah has taken his place. 3rd and 5. Carroll is in the secondary for Miami. Whedon way over the head of Best. The coverage by Patterson. And like the Dolphins in front of them, 3 and out. They got a punt.
You could see he was a little bit antsy in the pocket that time. He came off that one throw. It wasn't really there. He overthrows it, but you know, he sensed that the pressure is going to be there. I thought he had time to come off the intended receiver and look elsewhere to go with the football.
Thigpen had a pretty good kick and punt return average. Top 10 return average a season ago. And he awaits the punt here from Spencer Lanning. And the wind, which is continuing to change directions in the face of the Cleveland punter. Oh, he gets this one off beautifully. Thigpen back, and he bobbles the ball and rolls out of bounds safely at the 17. 57-yard punt. Little pop fly there, and rolls out of bounds with it. Late flag was thrown as we were away, and the officials conferred, and they threw this on the Cleveland Browns. A man illegally out of bounds, so they'll re-kick it, and that will probably help Miami just a little bit. Thigpen is back there. Remember, he bobbled the one moments ago. It's a 62-yarder by Lanning, and we'll do it again.
You're not allowed to run out of bounds, Kevin. As you're running down to defend the punt return, you're not allowed to run out of bounds just to elude blockers from the receiving team.
Lanning with Christian Yount with the long snap, and here comes Thigpen. Well, he was out the 17 last time. There goes another flag. And Thigpen looking for some room and finds a gap, and he's got a block, and he's chased by the punter. He is going to go all the way, but a flag is down, and let's see, it was a 52-yard punt with a 74-yard return.
And all the Cleveland Brown defenders are coming on the field as if it's going to come back. We'll see.
It was an early flag, And Thigpen, who had a punt return and a kick return a year ago for touchdowns, is going to have this one, like you say, taken back.
During the return, holding the receiving team number 28. 10-yard penalty. They retain possession. First down.
Nolan Carroll.
Timeout.
And a timeout. Frustrating for Joe Philbin.
Well, here it is. Right here. Oh, no, actually, it looks like both guys could have been holding, but they got the guy we circled, which was Nolan Carroll.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com. Chrysler, imported from Detroit. And by Bud Light, it's the sure sign of a good time. Here we go.
Back in Cleveland. Well, before the game, there's a familiar face to both Ohioans and Floridians. Paul Warfield played for the Dolphins, played for the Cleveland Browns. Pro Football Hall of Fame class of '83. One of the legendary players in the great history of both these football teams. Miller in the backfield, 1st and 10 for Tannehill from his 21. Screen is out, and Bruce Owens now taking his place at the corner. Oh, he got by Hayden. Zigzags his way into Ward, and Gibson makes the stop. There's a flag. The gain out to the 27. Pickup of 6 by Lamar Miller, who was born in Miami, went to high school in Miami, went to the University of Miami, and sure enough plays for the Dolphins.
There are 2 fouls on the play, both of them against the offense, both of them holding. Number 68 is declined, and holding number 42 is accepted. 10-yard penalty, still first down.
And Charles Clay, he's the tight end.
He's going up against Paul Kruger on the play. You know, Dolphins trying to get this run game going, but you got to be able to block right there. Now watch Clay against Kruger. She holds that outside shoulder. That's what allows Miller to get to the outside of the play. Got to be able to block better and hold at the point of attack.
Screen is back in as the corner. Owens playing one of the safeties. 1st and 20. Tannehill and Hartline. What a beautiful catch in screen defending. 13-yard pickup and put him at the 24.
Oh, Hartline is money. This ball's thrown. It could be easily thrown out of bounds. Look at him hold on to it, but watch both feet. Drag both feet to secure the catch for his quarterback, Tannehill.
He's had a catch, Solomon, of 10, 13, 5 yards, 6 yards, and 13 right there.
He goes about his work quietly,
He does.
but boy, is it effective.
From Ohio State, 2nd down and 7. Fake to Miller. Martin with that left tackle block. And that's caught by Wallace's first reception for the Dolphin. And brought down by Jackson. It's a 14-yard catch. It's a first down to the 38.
Oh, Hayden said he wanted Wallace to come back to the ball. Didn't think that he'd come out of his breaks real sharp and crisp. That time he's able to get separation from Hayden. Hayden playing over the top, and rightfully so, because Wallace will run Blyu in a blur. He'll be gone for a touchdown over the top. Force him to come back and catch it underneath.
Averages about 8 touchdowns a season. That's what he did with Pittsburgh. Is down, Miller. And was grabbed by Sheard from behind, loss of 1. That was one of the things that Joe Philbin talked about last night when they were looking at all these receivers that were available, the analytics in front of him.
Yep.
He was picking out specific things, and one of them, big plays, and certainly the speedster Wallace is one of those kind of plays.
Yeah, I asked him, I said, why was Wallace the guy you signed out there? Because remember, Greg Jennings, who had played for Philbin in Green Bay, they passed on Jennings, who's an effective wide receiver. Said, we want guys who can put the ball into the end zone. He gave out the number, averaging 8 touchdowns a season during the 4 years he was in Pittsburgh. That's why he gets the big paycheck and finds himself wearing a Dolphins uniform.
Billy Wynn taking the place of Rubin is down. Timeout. Taba Rubin was injured earlier, was inactive today, so they put in Wynn. He is off under his own power. Hughes taking his place on the defensive line. 2nd 11, going for Wallace. And incomplete. He was looking deep, and Hayden was there with some coverage. And that is a lot of speed, but he overshoots him.
Oh, Wallace had a step on him, but give Hayden credit. Right there, see, he's able to widen him and knock him off that straight line to the ball. That's just good veteran play by Joe Hayden, who was beaten on the play, but he's still having that hand fight with Wallace, was able to widen him and knock him off a track to the football.
Wallace says his biggest influence while with the Pittsburgh Steelers is Hines Ward. 3rd and 11. Thomas in the backfield. Into the nickel. And out of bounds, incomplete. Hartline bringing himself off the turf. Desmond Bryant with a couple sacks today, applying the Cleveland pressure. They got a punt.
Oh, Hartline, Wallace, these talented receivers. You could see earlier in the week. Here is what Mike Wallace had to say about Joe Hayden. I'm going to sleep early, and I hope he's going to sleep early because it's going to be a very long day. When we asked Joe Hayden about it, he didn't take it personally. He said it's just competitive bantering. He said we respect one another. We've had a lot of games where we've competed against one another. Right now, Joe Hayden's winning that battle.
Fields the punt. Travis Benjamin is back and signals forward. There's a lot of the fair catch back at the 18-yard line. 43-yarder. Hayden probably the headliner in the secondary for the Browns. Timeout.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by State Farm. For auto, home, life, and banking, get to a better state. And by Pizza Hut. Make it great.
Well, after the punt by the Miami Dolphins, Richardson to the backfield. Whedon has it 1st down and 10 from his own 19-yard line. And Trent Richardson stopped up the middle, not much there. Missed most of camp last season, all 4 preseason games his rookie year, and after undergoing arthroscopic surgery on his left knee, a slow start. Of course, he suffered the broken rib in week 6, and playing weight is down from last year, 237. They say now to about 225. He has no gain on that 1st down play.
What the Dolphins are doing, they're just clogging up every hole up front in the offensive line of the Cleveland Browns. They're forcing Trent Richardson to stop his feet. Once he shuts him down, he loses his quickness, he loses his power, and then they're able to contain him before he hits the line of scrimmage.
Extra DB's been put out there by the Dolphins. 2nd down and 10 for Whedon. A crumbling pocket, and down he goes, and Cameron Wake registers one right there. A loss of 9 in the sack. Back to the 10 of the Browns.
Oh, Wake is just a one-man wrecking crew. He can wreck your game plan. Look at him. Against Mitchell Schwartz, the right tackle. Dip and rip. And then the ability to explode to the quarterback. His 2nd sack of the game. This defensive front for the Miami Dolphins is controlling the tempo of the game. And I'm surprised that they're down by 1 because this defense, they've taken the ball away. They sacked Brandon. They've done just about everything you can ask a defense to do, and yet they're still down by 1 on the scoreboard.
Wake with the 4th most sacks in the NFL since 2009. He's been all over this one. 3rd and 18. Obanaya was in the backfield and incomplete to Obanaya with the coverage by Philip Wheeler. They got a punt, and we do too. We'll go to New York with James.
Yes.
No rookie jitters here, Boom.
There's a new man in Buffalo, guys. It's E.J. Manuel. That's right, his 2nd touchdown pass of the game, this time to Stevie Johnson, 18 yards. They lead the New England Patriots 21-17.
9 straight on opening day for the Pats. We'll see what happens. Back to Kevin and Solomon.
I remember a couple years ago when Lawyer Malloy was cut by New England, and it was a Buffalo 31-0 win over the Patriots. Remember that?
I do remember that. That's probably the last time we saw the Bills control, beat up on the Patriots in that fashion.
Lanning will punt to Thigpen, and they're going to get some terrific beginning field possession. And about midfield roll the Dolphins on a 40-yard punt. Wake with a couple of sacks today in Cleveland. After the punt, good beginning field position here for the Miami Dolphins. Thomas in the backfield for Tannehill on 1st and 10. And not much there. Sheared comes through, gain of a yard. It's a beautiful day in Cleveland, and these gorgeous scenics provided in our aerial coverage of today's game by DirecTV.
Well, the picture of the Miami Dolphins running game, Kevin, is not so pretty.
No.
And only 7 yards rushing in the first half. They've given back one. I think only, about 6 yards rushing prior to that carry. They really are struggling to run the football.
Tannehill with a 2nd down and 9. Pouncey with the snap. Martin holding off Sheard. Going deep, and he's got him, and that will be dropped by T.J. Ward. He is under like a center fielder in Major League Baseball.
Oh, Wallace is, as he was separating from Joe Hayden, they got tied up, and it's enough to throw him off stride. And this is one thing about covering fast receivers. Even when they get by you, as long as you disrupt the timing between he and his quarterback, you're going to win most of the time. And you can see that stumble by Wallace threw him off track and threw off the timing of the throw from Ryan Tannehill. He's been targeted 4 times, only 1 reception so far in the game.
Yeah, you were just talking about calibration and trying to get used to the speed. 3rd and 9, Clay the block, and that is a 1st down catch. And it's made by Brandon Gibson out of Washington State, a pickup of 12 on 3rd and 9. Put him at the Cleveland 38.
You know, Gibson coming in, 85% of his catches a year ago went for 1st downs. You can see this is what he's doing. And there you see the protection holds up for Tannehill, and rarely has it today. But when it does, he usually delivers a nice ball. That one caught for a 1st down.
He now has 4 catches on 3rd down. Well, Tannehill told us last night, I want to really improve my 3rd down percentage. He's done a pretty good job with that, and the handoff goes to Thomas, who picks and pokes his way inside. And DeQuell Jackson among a couple there in a gain of 4. But the 3rd down thing is something that he really concentrated on in the offseason.
Yeah, he really did. And ball placement and accuracy is one of those things, because that's what allows your receivers to come down with the ball consistent amount of time. His decision making has improved, as we've seen in this game. He did throw the ball inaccurately on one, and that's the one that led to the interception. The tip by DeQuell Jackson, intercepted by Tayshaun Gibson.
Tannehill, 2nd down and 6. He's thrown an interception today. A couple long field goals by the rookie Sturgis. Here he's going deep again, and he's got Hartline, and that is a touchdown. He beats Buster Screen, and the Dolphins have gone on top with a 34-yard touchdown pass, beating Screen by quarterback Ryan Tannehill.
It's an out and up, what we call the double move by Brian Hartline. Look, he faked the out. It's enough to throw Buster Screen offline, and then from there he's got a step. And Hartline only had 1 touchdown reception 1 year ago. You mentioned the 70-plus catches.
Can you imagine that?
Only 1 catch, even over 1,000 yards, and now he gets one week 1 to start the 2013 season.
So Brian Hartline, who is coming back home to play, leading them in receiving a year ago, and as Solomon said, over 1,000 yards receiving, but only 1 touchdown. And here is the Caleb Sturgis extra point. Tannehill with a 34-yard touchdown pass. Brian Hartline gives Miami a 13-7 lead.
This telecast is copyrighted by the NFL for the private use of our audience. Any other use of this telecast or of any pictures, descriptions, or accounts of the game without the NFL's consent is prohibited.
Tannehill with a pick, but he puts his team on top with a touchdown pass right there to Hartline.
Kevin, does take a look at the best quarterbacks who are 25 years and younger in the NFL, starting with Andrew Luck. He's 23 years old, already led his team to the playoffs. RG3 is 23 years old, already won a division title in Washington. Colin Kaepernick is 25 years old, has led his team to the Super Bowl. And Matthew Stafford, awarded with a huge contract in Detroit. He's 25. I haven't even talked about Andy Dalton, Russell Wilson, Cam Newton, and our young Ryan Tannehill in his 2nd year. He's a young quarterback, of course, and throwing that touchdown to Hartline, proving that he can be the face of the franchise in South Florida.
He's with Mike Sherman at Texas A&M. And he was telling us last night, it's known to Floridians, but he went there as a quarterback, and Mike Sherman said to him one day, you're not going to get a lot of time now. We got some guys ahead of you. Why don't you try receiver? He did. He was successful. For the next couple of years, tried to work his way to become the starting quarterback. Eventually he did, and he was drafted and was one of the fastest rising players coming out of the draft after his workout, and he went number 8 to the Finns.
Many people didn't think he had played enough at the quarterback position at Texas A&M and really doubted if the Dolphins should draft a player so high.
because it kind of came out of no place. That's out of the reach of Benjamin, out of the backfield and out of the end zone, and a touchback.
It starts with the weapons around Tannehill, working against screen, the out and then up. And he is able to get separation against Buster Screen. And look at this laser throw from Tannehill. He doesn't have a problem calibrating those deep balls to Brian Hartline, does he?
No.
And you can tell, though, they've clicked right away last year when Tannehill was a rookie. It was the only viable option for Tannehill was Hartline. Of course, Hartline's a former quarterback himself, so he understands quarterbacks, what they're looking for, the body language, how to present yourself, and then obviously how to come down with the ball.
After the 34-yard touchdown pass, and Richardson in the backfield, Wheaton 1st and 10. And on the money, caught by the tumbling tight end, Jordan Cameron. He's got a first down, pickup of 21 as we pick up New York and James.
Patriots 4th and goal at the 1. Down 21-17. They elect to go for it right here. Tom Brady fumbles the snap. Ball is recovered by the Bills. Ran all the way out to about the 12-yard line. Another turnover by the Patriots. They're down 21-17.
Kevin Solomon.
How about that? After the tumultuous offseason, all new receivers for Brady, and they're down on opening day to the Bills, 1st and 10. Little fake end around. Look out. Here comes the Odrick rush. And it goes to Greg Little. And he loses 3 on the play.
Wheaton did not get off to a fast start in this game. Threw 3 interceptions in the first half. The first to Nolan Carroll, and then Dimitri Patterson picked that one after it was tipped by Greg Little. But then comes back and throws a touchdown pass to Jordan Cameron. It's tight end. They take the lead at halftime. So his head coach, Rob Czynski, wanted to know how he would perform under pressure when things are bad. He tend to play his best.
2nd down and 12. Cousins holding off the Soliai rush. Trent Richardson. Number 1 pick out of Alabama last year. Koamisi has a beat on him. A catch and run to the 43. 18-yard pickup. Another Cleveland first down.
It's one of the things you'll get in the Norv Turner offense. They run everyone off deep in this vertical stretch. Everyone's getting so deep, they leave Richardson wide open underneath. The running backs in Norv Turner's offense are always catching a high volume of passes. 51 receptions in the offense 1 year ago. 3rd among all NFL rookies for Richardson.
1st and 10. Here comes Richardson. Schwartz with the lead block. Good pursuit by the Finns. Hit initially there by Ellerby, and they continue to work on him. Jones there, limiting him to a gain of 2. And he said that by losing the weight, Richardson feels that he's far more light on his feet, as you would guess. He's lost 12 pounds from last year to this.
And you can see he's still tough to tackle, because just when you think he's down, after 2-3 defenders has hit him, he's still going. I think if you can get him beyond the line of scrimmage, once he gets into space, that's where he can do most of his damage. The Dolphins have done a good job of corralling him and not allowing him to get beyond the line of scrimmage.
Well, they keep turning out the terrific running backs at Alabama, don't they? 2nd and 8. Obadiah is in the game too now. Offering a block. Wheaton. And the turn there by Benjamin buys him a couple other yards. He gets 20. And another first down to the 21 of Miami.
Oh, Wheaton does a really good job of just reading Koamisi, the drop of the outside linebacker. Go ahead and let her roll. Now watch as the back is coming out of the backfield. And then see right here, let's go ahead and stop it. See, Koamisi goes here. That leaves an opening for him to go up top with the ball. Had Koamisi stayed back on the receiver, he would have just dumped it off to Richardson. So you read the defense, that tells you where to go with the football.
1st and 10. Look at the time here. Trent, what a big time hit right in the middle. Wheeler was there. They also had Ellerby, 2 hard hitters. Wow. 2 guys that they got specifically taken out. Carlos Danzy and Burnett, and putting these 2 guys in.
Have to bring an extra mouthpiece.
But you think with this defense, they better fit with what they want to do as opposed to the guys they let go.
They're better blitzing linebackers, more athletic, a little more physical with Donnell Ellerby. Philip Wheeler had a phenomenal season last year playing for the Oakland Raiders. You can see the intensity level and the playmaking ability for the defenders have gone to another level in Miami.
Fins in the nickel, 2nd down and 10. Here they come around the edge.
Look out.
Oh, what great pressure. Wake, who's got a couple of sacks, was all over that play and force the quarterback.
Oh, they're just hitting everything that moves. Look, they come around and they hit the quarterback, and as he throws it to Obanaya, they hit him too. I think both guys were hit simultaneously. Look, hit on Wheaton, hit on Obanaya. Wow. That's cleaning up everything that moves, and that's when you know your defense is playing at a high level. Look at the speed and quickness as they close in on the offensive players who have the football.
Wake began as an undrafted player with the Giants, was let go, went to the Canadian Football League, kind of reinvented himself, goes to Miami, and he's put together a terrific career. 3rd down and 10. Obanaya in the backfield. Olivier Vernon applying pressure. Here comes Audric. And there goes the pass. Safety of the sideline. It's incomplete. They were really doing a good job with the pressure. They're going to settle for a 3-point try. Here comes Cundiff on the field for the Browns.
Oh, Cameron Wake, remember, he was out of football coming out of Penn State, and no one drafted him. He said, I sat home on my couch, and I'm looking at guys. I'm saying, I'm faster than that guy. I'm a better player than that guy. He just refused to give up. He worked as a mortgage broker and a personal trainer before getting a shot in Canada, led the Canadian League in sacks, finally gets his shot in Miami, and boy, has he made good on that opportunity.
The Jets cut Cundiff on Tuesday. He was here in Cleveland shortly thereafter. He's kicking today. 39-yard field goal, and it is good. So the Browns put 3 more on the board, come to within 3. 3:02 to play in the 3rd. There are some big plays. Jordan had a catch for 21. Richardson had a catch and run of 18. Benjamin had a pass completion, 20 yards, and they come back with the 39-yard field goal right there. There is a terrific documentary coming up on Lawrence Taylor. Listen to this and watch. 7 times the story of Lawrence Taylor with some of the best producers and creative talent at CBS putting this together. Premieres Friday, September 20th on Showtime at 8 p.m. It's an award-winning production crew, and this show is destined to have that same kind of honor. An amazing documentary on the trials and tribulations of one of the most feared and gifted players in NFL history. Lawrence Taylor on Showtime, coming up Friday, September 20th at 8 p.m. So we have a 3-point game. The Cleveland quarterback has thrown 3 interceptions. Whedon, a touchdown and an interception thrown by Tannehill. And the ensuing kickoff after Cundiff blasted one through from 39 yards away. Big Ben out of the end zone. Touchback. We've seen a lot of it. I was in Denver calling the Baltimore Broncos game the other night in that thin air a mile high, and it was one touchback after another. That's what we basically see now in the NFL. Very rarely do you see a kick return.
Oh, absolutely. You know, they moved it up, and they're allowing the kickers to boom it out to try to make the game safer. A lot of injuries were occurring on kickoff returns. They took the wedge out of the return as well. And most people want to see the quarterbacks play anyway, and so that's what Ryan Tannehill is coming on to do.
Adrian Patterson is out with an injury, and so taking his place is Chris Owens as a safety. This is Miller, chased by Sheard, hit by Screen, losing a yard on that 1st and 10 back to the 19-yard line.
Well, Miller before that carry only had 2 yards rushing in the ball game. He lost 1 yard on that play. He now has 9 carries for 1 yard. They're still struggling to try to replace Reggie Bush in this offense. Neither he or Daniel Thomas as he emerged as a real go-to guy to fuel and ignite their running game.
It's 2nd down and 1. Make it 11, excuse me. Clay has been a featured player in this passing game today, and a catch and run puts him out of bounds at about the 37, 18-yard gain. That is a 1st down with Charles Clay, 3 years out of Tulsa.
They clearly dropped coverage with Clay coming out of the backfield, but the protection holds up for Tannehill. And look, no one over there, no one in a Browns uniform even close to Charles Clay as he slips out of the backfield. He had been a fullback, moved to tight end, and I think he's given Tannehill another option on this offense.
They missed Dustin Keller, though, no doubt.
Oh, he was going to put up huge numbers in this offense.
Just blew his knee up. Out for the year from the 37, 1st and 10 for Tannehill, right through the hands of Gibson. That's the 2nd drop that he has had today with the coverage by Chris Owens. As this Miami team is in the AFC East. And you know, Salma, we've been getting updates on the New England Buffalo game. and Buffalo has beaten the Patriots. This AFC East is not nearly as strong. Thus, teams like Miami now see some light at the end of the tunnel.
Well, Tom Brady is without his top 5 wide receivers from 1 year ago. They're not in this opening day game, and so a lot of these young receivers are having to operate in what we call a read-based offense. And they're going to struggle for a while, and I think they're going to have to become more of a running football team until those young guys get better.
2nd and 10 for Tannehill. The reliable Hartline screen shoving him out of bounds, and a flag was thrown on the far side as you take a look at some of the storylines in this division.
Yeah, as long as Belichick and Brady are with the Patriots, you can expect them to win some ball games. And the Dolphins are more than a new logo and new uniforms. I think they could challenge within the division.
42 running forward at the snap. 5-yard penalty is still 2nd down.
And if I'm not mistaken, that's Clay's 2nd penalty today.
Yeah, and as we finish up the AFC East storylines, the Bills, I think they found their quarterback in E.J. Manuel. He's the rookie, and is it buy or sell time with the New York Jets? We don't know. Geno Smith gets the opening day start. How might he perform instead of Mark Sanchez? But right now it's a circus there in New York with the Jets. And I think Joe Philbin has this team ascending within the division.
Well, they sure put the dollar signs in front of trying to improve it. 2nd down and 15. Miller will release. Sheared, chasing the quarterback, and now they got DeQuell Jackson chasing the quarterback. So they got one guy, then they had the other linebacker. They've gone to a different defense, and you've talked about it, a 34. So Sheared goes from a lineman to an outside backer, and he's thriving in that position. He's had some pretty good pressure today.
Oh, absolutely. I talked to their defensive coordinator, Ray Horton, and he said everyone was pleasantly surprised with Jabal Sheard's ability to lose weight, to become a stand-up outside linebacker in a 3-4 defense. He's more natural. And that surprised everyone's ability to drop into coverage, and we're seeing he can still pressure the quarterback and still defend in pass coverage.
5 defensive backs for the Browns. It's 3rd and 15 for the Finns. There they come again. He got away from Kruger. He goes outside to Clay. And he's wrestled down, a gain of 5 on the play. Not much breathing space. Robertson was there. Kruger with the pressure. And Miami's got a punt.
And Kevin, because the Dolphins cannot run the football against this Cleveland Browns defense, it's the 6th time the Dolphins offense have had 3rd and 10 or longer. So give credit to the Cleveland Brown defense, but the Dolphins' inability to run the football is causing problems for this offense.
Benjamin is deep back, and Brandon Fields, the all-time leading punter in Dolphin history in terms of average and net, is ready to swing this baby through again. The catch is signaled for and a little bit premature, perhaps. He had a little bit more breathing space than he thought to the 17-yard line. Well, with all eyes on Syria, Charlie Rose sits down with the Syrian President al-Assad for an exclusive interview tomorrow morning. That will be something to watch. It's only on CBS this morning. Cleveland Browns have it. The quarterback, Whedon, has thrown 3 interceptions. He's thrown a short 7-yard touchdown pass to his tight end. Cundiff, on their last possession, got a 39-yard field goal, and it's a 3-point game late here in the 3rd.
10th possession of the game for the Cleveland Brown offense, and Chazinski wants to see his quarterback, Brandon Wheaton, play well when their backs are up against the wall. When things aren't going well, they need him to make a play.
It's Trent Richardson. Those are the hands of Ellerby, and goes deeper into the defense and hit by a couple others, including Grimes and Jones, and a gain of 7 for Richardson.
See, Richardson, you know, we always hear that running back gets one cut. See, right there, go downhill. No more cuts, just keep going and get downhill. That's where the yards are to be gained. I think his ability to cut back is so rare, and he's so gifted that he looks to make that cut maybe more often than he needs to.
Big play so far for Miami, a 34-yard touchdown pass to Hartline. They're on top at the end of 3 as you're watching the NFL on CBS. NFL.com fantasy football. Get free mobile apps and exclusive instant highlights. Sign in and play for free at NFL.com/fantasy. 2nd down and 19 after the Cleveland timeout. Screen pass overshoots Richardson, and he had room to roam too. He had Some blocking ahead, including John Greco, and there was some space, but he overshoots him, incomplete.
Oh, the pressure is too much from Cameron Wake. He beats Mitchell Schwartz, the right tackle, immediately. Watch this, coming right off this right side. Bam! Right around him, into the quarterback, and that's why he just had to dump it off. He tried to get it in the vicinity of Trent Richardson, but didn't have enough time to really set up the play.
Obanaya is in the backfield on a 3rd and 19. They need the 42 of Miami. Whedon, Cameron, with the tackle made by Donnell Ellerby. It's a gain of 9, well shy of the first, and the Browns will have to punt.
Kevin, we talked about it in the open as, yeah, they're going to be forced to punt, but I'm impressed by the emergence of Jordan Cameron in this offense. In Norv Turner's offense, the tight end and that running back coming out of the backfield, whether it was Jay Novacek in Dallas or Antonio Gates in San Diego, the tight ends are going to catch a lot of balls in this offense. And Cameron can end up having a huge year for Cleveland.
Lanning to punt for the Cleveland Browns, and Marcus Thigpen is back at the 10. You may recall he had a punt return called back because of a penalty on his special teams. He looks up into that bright Ohio sun, makes the grab at the 15-yard line. A 37-yard well-placed punt with Miami leading by 3.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Frost Brewed Coors Light, the game's most refreshing beer. FedEx. FedEx does more than shipping. FedEx, solutions that matter. And by CenturyLink, your link to what's next.
Daniel Thomas back there after the Cleveland punt with Ryan Tannehill from the 15. 1st down and 10, Miami. And this is grabbed by Gibson, who stiff arms his way by screen, is up to the 39-yard line, a 24-yard catch and run, and a 1st down Miami.
All right, we talk about ball placement so that you can create yards after the catch. Watch this throw. Gibson, quick move on 21, Chris Owens. And that frees him to the next level to get a huge gain on the play. The receiver's ability to create yards after the catch is, I think, vitally important to any successful offense.
Gibson, although he's had a couple drops, has had some nice catches too. 5 for 57. Hartline had the long touchdown reception at 34. Here's a catch by Hartline right in front of Chris Owens at the 50. Runs to the 45. That is a spin and a completion of 16. Another Miami 1st down.
Now, why would you bite on play action pass when the Dolphins aren't able to run the ball? But they do defensively. And look at the footwork and crisp route running from Hartline. Gets enough separation for Tannehill to drill that ball outside the numbers and complete the pass accurately to Hartline. I think he and Tannehill are so in sync. That's why they're making many plays.
Hartline now 7 catches and 96 yards. And here comes Thomas, who outweighs the starter Lamar Miller by about 17 pounds. He twists for a yard. Tackle was made by John Hughes in the middle.
You know, last year this Cleveland Brown defense allowed 8 quarterbacks to have 300-yard passing games. Second most in the NFL, where Ray Horton comes over as their new defensive coordinator. He's a disciple of Dick LeBeau. They run a 3-4 defense, the zone blitz pressure. You won't find quarterbacks having many 300-yard games against this defense with the pressure that Phil Taylor and company are providing up front in this defense.
2nd down and 9 for Gibson. Through his hands, incomplete. The coverage by Joe Hayden. We've got the NFL covered on this opening day with James in New York.
Boom, boom, a fantasy update. That's right, Brandon Marshall, he catches 104 yards and a touchdown. How about this throw by Jay Cutler? This is why everybody wants to see more out of him. That is a beautiful throw, 19 yards to Brandon Marshall. They take the lead over the Bengals. 24-21.
Certain as Solly would agree, he can sling it. Kevin and Solly.
And he's playing without a contract, too.
He's playing for a really good coach and a really good offense that's going to allow him, I think, to have a phenomenal season.
Mark Trestman, the first-year coach in Chicago, 3rd and 9. Tannehill rears back, and he's got Gibson again. Room to roam. Owens on the tackle to the Cleveland 30-yard line. 14-yard pickup earlier. Gibson had a catch and run for 24 on this drive.
Well, we talk about finding some of the soft holes in a zone defense, and that's what you get here. Go ahead and roll it off the top, and we're going to show you where the soft spot is. Look at right there. Wide open, And Tannehill has enough to drill this one into the soft spot. They uncover. Jabal Sheard gets a little bit out of alignment. That's what allowed the pass to be completed.
You see what they've done on this drive with a run and 4 passes. 1st and 10. Hartline on the slant. Right in front of Gibson. It's a pickup of 7 there. And they chisel out 7 yards to the 23.
And not coming after Tannehill on this drive. Electing to just go with a straight 4-man rush. Play some zone behind it. Tannehill, as you take a look at Philbin, taking advantage of the Cleveland defense. And when you talk to these players, they say playing for Ray Horton, they love attacking. Last year they played a lot of Tampa too. Let's see if they come after Tannehill now that they're getting close to the red zone.
On 2nd down and 3. The former Kansas State runner, that's Daniel Thomas up the middle. He picks up a yard. Now Tannehill, one of the issues with him was late game situations and making mistakes and opportune problems coming up with his play. He worked on that too with a lot of study, a lot of tape evaluation. Here we are, a 3-point lead on the road late in the game.
Kevin, he said he spent the offseason watching every play of every game from his rookie season, and where he wanted to grow and play for his offense coordinator Mike Sherman is to be able to finish off drives down inside the red zone by scoring touchdowns and finishing off games by making plays at critical moments.
Let's see what he does here. 3rd and 2, 8th play of the drive, and he finds his receiver once again, Gibson. And he's taken the place of Best and had a big day. The tackle made by Screen, a pickup of 6, a 1st down to the 16.
I'm about making a play at a critical moment. That's 3rd down play over to Gibson, who kind of goes down. Thought he was going to get hit sooner, but you could tell he's getting in sync. So is Hartline, who's always been on the same page with Ryan Tannehill, but that's why the offense is clicking. I can't say enough about the offensive line on this drive, protecting Tannehill and giving him time to throw.
Going on this drive, Gibson's had catches of 24, 14, and 6. He has 7 catches for 77 yards. And here they go on 1st and 10. Great time, Tannehill. Hartline crawling to the 5. Finally brought down by DeQuell Jackson. That is an 11-yard pickup. That's a 1st down, 1st and goal, Miami.
And they're doing all this by throwing the football. Tannehill, his mobility. Watch him move to his right. He talked about wanting to get better, throwing it to his left. Always been good doing this, throwing it to his right. If you're the Cleveland Brown defense, you know there's no balance right now to what the Dolphins are doing. They're not running the football, and they're throwing it. You've got to put pressure on Tannehill, force him to make decisions. Right now, look like they have a matchup advantage to the right side of the field at the top of your screen against T.J. Ward in space.
1st and goal at the 5. To the end zone, Gibson, little hand-to-hand combat, and Screen was defending. Brandon Gibson.
The Screen was matched up against Gibson.
Pass interference. Defense number 22, the foul occurred in the end zone. Oh, he put it to 1-yard line, automatic. 1st down.
Screen was the 5th most penalized player a season ago in the NFL.
There it is, top of your screen. Look at this, right there. He was holding on from the time he left the line of scrimmage, and the officials called it. I thought they could have taken a shot to the outside where they had the mismatch on the other side of the field against T.J. Ward, who was covering the receiver in space.
3 tight ends. 1st and goal at the 1. Klutz is the fullback, and the dive for 6 by Thomas. That is a touchdown. What a drive. Gibson had 3 catches. Hartline had 3 big catches. And the airborne Daniel Thomas now extends the Miami lead to 9.
Well, they run right behind the big fullback. Defense knows it, can't do anything about it. DeQuell Jackson can't get penetration into the backfield. Neither can Robertson, the other linebacker, and that's why Thomas is able to go right over the top into the end zone. They loaded up, pretty much showed you where they were going to run it, and still were able to execute.
Wonderfully orchestrated 10-play, 85-yard drive. Caleb Sturgis, who had a couple of big field goals early in the game, puts one more up. The Dolphins by 10 on the road on opening day. Tannehill with the handoff. Thomas flies for 6. So Daniel Thomas, the one-time option quarterback, a junior college All-America, playing for Bill Snyder at Kansas State, eventually at the D1 level. And Ryan Tannehill, leading a beautiful drive. You see 6 of 7. He was on the target. His receivers, I'll tell you what, so far, money well spent by Miami. They bring it out, and Bobby Rainey will take it out for the Cleveland Browns. Tripped up and brought down on the play. Looked like maybe Rashard Marshall was the one to, Matthews was the one to get him. That's a 34-yard return. Good-looking drive by Tannehill. Miami by 10. They've given him throw.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Nationwide Insurance. Nationwide is on your side. And by Subway. Any regular footlong is a $5 footlong at Subway. Hurry in this September. Subway, eat fresh.
So the Dolphins just scored and now down by 10. Under 7 to play. It's Whedon. Thomas holding off the block with Olivier Vernon trying to come inside. And there is Richardson not being able to get it. Ellerbe was covering on the play. So the Browns opening at home for the 14th time in the past 15 years. They have only won one of their openers. In the last 14, haven't had an opening season win since 2004. They have a new head coach in Rob Chudzinski from this area, and right now their backs are against the wall.
8 straight opening day losses for this football team, by far the longest streak in the National Football League. A new building, new owner, new coach. You want different results than what they've had the last 8 years.
2nd and 10, and Cameron, who caught a touchdown pass earlier in the game, is brought down by Dannell Ellerbe after a gain of 2. And down he goes at about the 26-yard line. And here comes the #1 pick for Miami into the game, Dion Jordan, who's played some special teams and now out there for a rare time on the defensive line. And here he comes with a quick hurry up on 3rd and 8. And they go outside, and it's caught by Jordan again with the coverage by Ellerbe. And that is a gain of 6, and they're 2 yards shy, so it's 4th and 2.
Fans are starting to get restless because the ball's not going down the field. They're starting to sense this game slipping away as they trail in the 4th quarter down by 10, wanting more from Rob Chudzinski's offense, maybe taking some shots down the field. This is one of those places in the game, Kevin, where the absence of Josh Gordon, who is suspended for their first 2 games, I think is vitally important, and I think they miss his ability on the field.
Miami with a timeout. That's the first. And the clock at 5:37. As Whedon's got his hands full, and Joe Philbin trying to hold on to an opening day lead and win. Well, it will be appointment television next Saturday. The Home Depot SEC on CBS hits the field running as Nick Saban's top-ranked 2-time defending national champion Crimson Tide rolls against the Heisman Trophy winner of a year ago, Johnny Manziel and the Aggies of Texas A&M. The hoopla begins with college football today, 3 o'clock, and if I'm not mistaken, they will be in College Station. That will be some kind of scene.
A 4th and 2 here. Rob Chudzinski, they're going to go for it, Kevin. And what you got to do, you haven't been able to run the ball against this defense, so you've got to be able to screen Devon Best open and get the ball to him.
Obanaya is back there offering a block, and here comes Wake, and down goes Whedon. A 3rd sack from Wake, who has put his fingerprints on this game today. On downs, it goes to Miami, leading by 10 with 5.5 to play.
Well, they're looking for Devon Best, but watch this. You're going to come across here, and you think you're going to block Cameron Wake with a running back one-on-one? Not going to happen. I think by design, it's a flawed protection. You would never want to put your small pass protector, Obanaya, to block a talented pass rusher like Cameron Wake. It's just not going to hold up. Even Obanaya knows that.
And Obanaya was a running back. He's now playing fullback. He goes back to running back at times. They're very thin at the running back position. They had a couple kids injured. Here comes Daniel Thomas, who tries to shift gears, and he picks up a yard on the play. They have some running back issues here. Montario Hardesty, knee surgery gone. Deion Lewis, fractured fibula gone. They had to go to the waiver wire, get a couple kids this week, one of which they cut. And Obanaya has, like we said before, been used as a fullback and a running back so far.
He's a good pass protector, but that's against a blitzing linebacker. He can read, scan, and block. But when you have to block against one of the talented rush defensive ends, a guy who was 4th in the NFL with 15 sacks 1 year ago. That's really a lot to ask of a running back.
Tannehill with a 2nd and 9. And here is Thomas. We've not seen a lot of Lamar Miller. We've not been told he's been injured. Thomas had the 1-yard touchdown run. He does outweigh him a little bit. And there is a gain of 4, some shoving after the play. It is spotted at the 20-yard line. There's the try to rip away Rashard Matthews, who's getting in a little bit of a contest there with some of the players on the other side.
The fewest rushing yards in a game in franchise history. You know, once 7 yards back in 2006 against Minnesota. And you can see 18 yards rushing on the day. One of the worst days in franchise history for the Miami Dolphins.
Miller is in. We talk about him, and sure enough, he's back in the game. Lamar Miller, 3rd down and 5. Then he gets the handoff and follows the blocking of John Jerry. And he is close to a first, couple yards shy, it appears. It'll be 4th and 3, and the Dolphins will try for 3.
I think this is why it's important that you have some sense of running game, because when you get to 4 minutes on the clock, 4 minutes left in the game, your ability to run the football, not have to throw it to create a first down. And Joe Philbin knows this. You can kill a lot of clock just by running the football and creating a first down one after another, running the football, because when you throw it, a couple of bad things can happen. Put the ball in harm's way, risking a turnover, and an incompletion stops the clock for the opposing team.
Longest run today has only been 5. Miller comes off because the field goal unit is on the field, and that means another look at Caleb Sturgis, the rookie who beat out Dan Carpenter, who was let go. And Sturgis already today has kicked field goals of 45 and 49 yards. This will be a 36-yard try. Right there. 3 more on the board, and Miami is digging a pretty big hole for that Cleveland team. Now leading by 13 points, a 36-yard field goal right there.
Whenever you have good special teams and taking advantage of those opportunities, you get the sack by Cameron Wake on 4th down. Excellent field position, already in position to set up Sturgis for the field goal, and he capitalizes by knocking it through.
10 unanswered 4th quarter points for the Dolphins. Next week, Manning against Manning, as Peyton takes on Eli. Huge game next week on CBS. That's our main game in the doubleheader. San Diego, Philadelphia, with the new look Eagles and their coach Chip Kelly coming from the University of Oregon. We'll get things going before that. It all begins with the NFL Today, presented by Southwest Airlines, right here on CBS.
You think Dan Marino is proud of what Tannehill is doing for his former Dolphin team today?
He should be. They've gone through a lot of them, haven't they?
Oh, absolutely. And you get the sense Dan is pulling for this one to stick, because Tannehill's a good guy. You can tell the players really like him. As we take a look at Cameron Wake, who told us this is the best the team has been since he's been here in Miami. And I think it starts with the arrival of Tannehill and now the weapons they're surrounding him with.
Sturgis will send this deep, and it's caught by Bobby Rainey. He played at Western Kentucky. And brought down from behind with some nice special teams there by Don Jones, the rookie, 7th-round pick. It's a 23-yard return. So the Miami Dolphins, with Tannehill throwing a touchdown pass, leading some nice drives, throwing that ball all over the place to his receivers, who look like they're worth that $100 million plus price tag after an offseason where they spent a ton of money.
And tomorrow everyone's going to look at, Mike Wallace, only 1 catch for 15 yards. I thought in that last drive, his ability to stretch the field opened up things underneath for Brian Hartline and Brandon Gibson. So his presence on the field, even though it won't show up in the stat sheet, I think it's paying off.
Eden 1st and 10 for Benjamin. And the catch, the tackle there, Brent Grimes, or was that Jimmy Wilson? Wilson was there. 20-yard pickup and a first down.
A good throw that time to Benjamin, and you might want to speed up play if you're Brandon Wheaton. Try to get some points on the board here very quickly.
Cleveland a single timeout. Wheaton 1st and 10. Hit again. Looking for Benjamin. No yellow on the field. Nolan Carroll was defending. He starts this season as the third quarterback for Miami's defense.
The problem without Josh Gordon, and no fault of Travis Benjamin, he can't work back inside. He's not big enough. He's 5'10", 175 pounds. He can't move defenders to fight himself back inside to get to the football. And that's where I think Josh Gordon, his absence really does hurt the football team, because he'd be able to make more plays down the field.
Number 1 pick, Deion Jordan, is in there. Second down and 10. Whedon, little out of bounds. Coverage by Grimes, who had a lot of headlines with his terrific play in the preseason for the Miami Dolphins. Here's a kid who blew an Achilles, not re-signed by Atlanta, signs a 1-year deal with Miami.
Oh, you just love the way he plays football. I asked him, why did you choose Miami? There were several teams came after Brent Grimes, who signed a 1-year deal. He's out of Shippensburg and had an excellent career, first 6 seasons in Atlanta. He says, I just love playing football, and the talent they have on this defense, I wanted to come here and play.
3rd and 10. Whedon hit again, incomplete. Odrick was among a couple with great pressure. The former high pick, number 1 out of Penn State, Odrick, coming up and foiling the play.
Oh, they're starting to get to Whedon. They're all around him. They have been all game long, and now they're starting to get there. Odrick, along with some of the other defenders up front on this defensive line, Paul Soliai, Randy Starks. You mentioned Deion Jordan now joining the likes of Cameron Wake and Olivia Vernon. Boy, they have put together a nice front for the Miami Dolphins, and Whedon is filling it.
As those numbers show, 4th down and 10. Blitz. Whedon. Cameron. He needs the 44. And he gets the first down. And brought down by Shelby on the play. 13-yard catch for a first.
And that is, he gets protection, and now he gets time to dump it off to Jordan. Jordan smartly cut that ball up and get vertical. Get going down the field to press towards that first down market. You'll find it more times than not.
Whedon 1st and 10. High for best coverage on the play by Jimmy Wilson. Going back to what you were saying about Odrick, he has actually had to change his position, moving to the defensive tackle from the defensive end on that very stout Miami defensive line.
Yeah, and he's trimmed down some, and he had played defensive end in a 3-4 defense previously, and now moves inside. He's effective either way. I mean, he's a guy that they can move him around to a number of different places, and you need players like Odrick who are very versatile and still very effective.
For the first time today, Torrey Gurley is on the field. They just activated him last night as a wide receiver for the Browns. 2nd and 10. And they're going for best, and it was just about grabbed on the far side by Wilson, who is battling a hamstring, but playing the receiver tight right there.
Yeah, Whedon's fortunate. He threw that ball late to the outside, and it was nearly intercepted, but he's being hit, hurried, and harassed. And that's why he makes the bad decision and throw the ball late over to Devon Best, and Wilson nearly picked it off. Had he caught it, he's going to set sail for a touchdown.
3rd down and 10. Cleveland with a timeout. You see our time at 2:40 and down by 13 points. Whedon has thrown 3 picks, almost through a 4th. Chris Clemens comes over with some nice play. The safeties of the Dolphins are terrific, and they showed it on that play.
They're really good, and they're sitting on every underneath route. You get the sense at this Cleveland Brown football team, they just lack the receivers who can really stretch the field. Other than Travis Benjamin, who amongst these receivers that you respect as a deep route runner? And I think without Josh Gordon, there's not much, and so now that allows them to sit on just about every single route these receivers are running.
Browns need the Miami 43. They have it 4th down and 10. Obadiah with a block inside. And they've got Torrey Gurley signed to the practice squad earlier. Off the practice squad yesterday. 15-yard pickup. He's played for like 6 or 7 teams, but that's his first NFL catch in his first NFL game.
And they need him, because we talk about the lack of size for other receivers. Gurley's a big guy, 6'4", 230. Spent some time on the practice squad in San Diego last year, where Norv Turner, the Cleveland Browns offensive coordinator, was then the head coach, so he's familiar with Gurley, and Gurley is familiar with the offensive system.
He's been on the Viking, practice squad, the Green Bay practice squad. I just said the San Diego and Tampa Bay practice squad. He's been all over the place. And here he is. He played at South Carolina. And he's on this team. Of course, they're very thin with some injuries on the Cleveland side, so they get him. Nolan Carroll was the player who was shaken up and walking off.
Gurley looks the part of the type of receivers that Norv Turner ultimately wants. You know, that guy that was Vincent Jackson.
Vincent Jackson size, right?
That's right. And, you know, many of the big, tall, rangy receivers who have speed to get down the field. And I think as this coaching staff and this regime stick around, these are the kind of wide receivers they want to bring in to play in this offense.
1st and 10. Somebody jumped on the line, maybe Randy Starks, perhaps a free play. It is Whedon to Josh Cooper. His first catch today, and his former college teammate at Oklahoma State to about the 23-yard pickup on the pass by Whedon. Coming in, by the way, for the injured Carroll was R.J. Stanford out of Utah, 3rd-year player. But the flag, and you see the ensuing conference on the field.
Oh, they're talking about a few guys because there was lots of movement along that offense and defensive line.
Mike Carey from San Diego.
Neutral zone infraction. Defense jumps into neutral zone, causing immediate reaction. It's a dead ball foul from the previous spot, 5 yards, still 1st down.
Yep, so they're going to bring it back, but they're going to still be a 1st down. Here's the jump right there by Starks.
On the game clock.
I could have drawn maybe on 2 or 3 of those defenders for the Miami Dolphins defense, because there were several of them jumped into that neutral zone.
Gotta pick your poison. The rookie Jordan has been taken out as the Brown and Nolan Carroll, by the way, just put back in the game in the secondary for Miami. 1 of 5 defensive backs right now for the Dolphins. 1st and 5 for Cleveland.
1st and 5. This is an area where you'd like to be able to take a shot, but we said there are limited opportunities to get the ball deep. Bess has been great working the underneath coverage. Maybe they'll go to him.
Obanaya at his side and offering a block. Whedon to Bess, who said he played and had to leave last year with Miami because of a broken bone in his back. The catch made in front of Wilson. It's a grab to the 17-yard pickup.
He runs a wonderful route on the sideline. Look at the feet. Toe tapping inbounds for Devon Bess. He's just got good feet, good hands, but his ability to run routes and separate. I think if you're Brandon Whedon, you've got to come away from this game having a greater sense of confidence in Devon Bess, even though he's missed most of the preseason.
He's thrown 48 times. 1st and 10. Moves up, hit by Shelby as he threw it away on this drive. They've gotten Benjamin for 20, Jordan for 13, Gurley for 15, Cooper for 23, Best for 17. 2nd down now coming up with 2:17 to play.
When your quarterback throws as much as Wheaton has thrown today, he is going to take his lumps. Tomorrow, he'll spend a lot of his time in the whirlpool after watching tape. 49 pass attempts today. Not only will the arm be a little bit sore, but this Miami Dolphins defense has knocked him around a bit.
Jordan back out there, taking the place of Olivier Vernon, right end, 2nd and 10. Grabbed by Starks and brought down. A sack right there. The 5th by Miami. Starks, a Pro Bowler, had 4 sacks last year. Comes up with number 1 right there.
Well, 5 sacks. They've had 3 interceptions on the back end of this defense. Cameron Wake and company really putting it to Brandon Whedon and the Cleveland Browns.
Well, without the number 1 receiver, Josh Gordon suspended for the first 2 games. A lot was going to rest on the shoulders of Richardson, but he's now out. Obanaya is in. Here's a 3rd down coming up.
Offense number 75, 5-yard penalty, still 3rd down.
That's O'Neal Cousins.
This is just really getting difficult. Cousins has struggled all day long. And because he struggled, we've had plays taken off the board that would have been productive for the offense. And, he's not protected well. And their inability to run the football inside has not been there either.
Browns have one timeout, 3rd and 19 now. For a first, they need the 6. Whedon. Oh, and he was brought down. And was it it was the rookie Deion Jordan. The flag is there. Jordan, the first pick out of Oregon, bad shoulder and all, limited time in training camp, and I think he sneaks through and gets his first NFL stop.
Yeah, because Audric, Starks, everyone else forced
face mask. Defense number 95.
Wipe it away.
Yeah.
15-yard penalty from the end of the run. We must get back to the line of scrimmage. First down.
So that is not a sack now because they've blown it on Deion.
He was coming, but so were the other guys. That forced Wheaton to Jordan, and Jordan just grabbed the face mask. I'm sure he was so ecstatic to be touching the quarterback in his first NFL game.
They traded up to get him.
Yeah, just grab what he could get. They traded all the way up to number 3 overall.
Now a first down for Brandon Whedon. And for Best, a little bit high in the coverage by the linebacker Ellerby. And once again, they had Wake in the backfield, and he was zeroing in on number 3 of Cleveland.
I can't say enough about the pressure the Miami Dolphins are putting on Wheaton. Even when he throws it, his arm is getting hit. He's having to step aside and around guys and do whatever he can to get the football out that it's affecting his accuracy down the field. You know, Joe Philbin's got to be really impressed with this defense. It's going to carry his offense a long way until they can really get in sync. The veteran presence of these free agents they brought in, you can see it's clicking very, very early.
Ron Morton is on that defensive line for Miami on a 2nd down and 10. Another flag. Whedon caught. Touchdown. Barnage. Working on the safeties back there. They had a couple.
Holding. Offense number 75. 10-yard penalty, still 2nd down.
O'Neal Cousins.
There's your guy.
He has struggled all day. And we said it earlier, Kevin, just minutes ago. Big plays have come off the board because he has struggled. And here he struggles yet again. Right there. That's holding. It's what they call holding right there against Soliai.
Yep.
Whedon is just fighting for his life back there. You just give him a little time, he'll make some plays for you. But Cousins has had his hands full blocking many of the real talented defenders in this defensive front for Miami.
Richardson back in, 2nd down and 20. Needing the 10. Richardson. And Koamisi comes in and side swipes him at about the 19-yard line. That's a 12-yard gain for Richardson.
Well, you're talking about Whedon just hanging in there. He was under pressure. He couldn't throw it the way he wanted because of the pressure coming in from the backside. Just shovels it to get it out any way he could over to Richardson.
Whedon grew up in Edmond, Oklahoma, just outside Oklahoma City. He was a terrific all-state football player as a quarterback and baseball pitcher, selected baseball 2nd-round pick by the New York Yankees. Spent some time in the minor leagues, was traded a bit, decided to give football another try in like 2007, 2008. Waited his time and became a record-setting quarterback for Mike Gundy down in Stillwater, and he was a 1st-round pick by Cleveland last year.
The way he's getting hit today, I'm sure he's wishing that curveball would have worked out a little bit better, because I think he can be a talented quarterback, and I think he's a good fit for North Turner's offense. You've got to protect him better than this, and the running game around him has to be better.
3rd down and 8. The blitz comes on. He gets by Wilson. He keeps his footing and then throws it away because he had Vaughn Martin along with Philip Wheeler right on him.
He is. They're coming after him. And Kevin Coyle, the defensive coordinator for Miami, said, go get him. They have to throw. And he stepped up in the pocket. Watch, he eludes Wilson. And you could think that, okay, I'm going to just get rid of it. I'm tired of getting hit. But Wheeler makes sure he pays for that one. He'll push Wheeler off right there and say, guys, get off me. Seen enough of this.
4th down and 8 for Brandon Whedon. Cleveland has converted 2 4th downs on this drive.
You think he's sore, Kevin?
If he's not sore now, he'll be sore tonight. And if he's sore tonight, that means he'll be worse tomorrow morning. 17th play of this drive. It started back at the Cleveland 15. Now he's got some time. He can't find anybody. Dancing out there and kind of Brett Favre's it away. Threw it Threw it away. Boy, Donnell Ellerbe, the Super Bowl starter, with the play and putting an exclamation point on a nice Miami win on the road on opening day.
Yeah, no one can get open. And, you know, the receivers for this football team might say have not made enough plays for Brandon Wheaton. He understood he's outside the pocket, and all he has to do is get rid of it. Best being covered there, going out of bounds. Now he's ineligible to catch it because he goes out of bounds under his own power. And Wheaton just fighting for his life. And I know Trzynski's going to appreciate the toughness his quarterback has shown in this game today.
Victory formation. Miami's defense today, 3 takeaways, 6 sacks for a team that wanted to improve on that turnover ratio, and they have today. And the day for the quarterback, Ryan Tannehill.
He completed 24 catches, working underneath to Brian Hartline. Brandon Gibson's done a wonderful job. And this team has found a way to put playmakers around their young quarterback. And Tannehill came away only throwing 1 interception in the game, but did get the ball into the end zone to Brian Hartline. His ability to protect the football, not turn it over, I think has contributed to their ability to win.
Cameron Wake had 3 sacks. The rookie kicker had 3 field goals of 45, 49, and 36 yards. And Joe Philbin and the Miami Dolphins have won the season opener in Philbin's second year with a good win. They all are, especially on the road. Tough day for Wheaton. Nice day for Tannehill. And Philbin will take a 1-0 record now into a very tough stretch coming up for the Miami Dolphins.
Well, let's face it. If they're going to contend with the New England Patriots, and they plan on doing just that, they're going to have to go through a murderous row of a schedule to be one of the teams left standing in the AFC East and contend for a playoff spot in the AFC.
Well, for the Cleveland Browns, a very tough day. We just saw, by the way, Tannehill and Wheaton talking. They're friends from the Manning Passing Academy and from some of the draft workouts last year. Their wives are good friends, and they have a little meeting there at the end to say hello. And Tannehill's going to fly back home to South Florida and feel pretty good about his afternoon.
Great respect they have for one another. And we've seen, I think, both young quarterbacks have grown. You know, Brandon Wheaton is asked to lead a very young team. He's going to be 30 years old next month, and he's going to have to continue to fight throughout the season to lead this football team as they improve around him.
Nice day for receiver Brandon Gibson with 7 receptions, 77 yards, 5 key catches coming on 3rd down. So Miami wins it, and they go to 1-0. Cleveland to 0-1. Coming up next, the U.S. Open Women's Final between Victoria Azarenka and Serena Williams. For Solomon Wilcots, Kevin Harlan saying so long from Cleveland, Ohio, where the Miami Dolphins have won 23-10. You've been watching the NFL on CBS.
About the matchups going into the ball game, and those guys played hard up front, and Kevin did a good job, and as well as the defensive staff. We had a couple blitzes that were effective, and we kept changing it up a little bit. So I thought overall it was good.
Coach Cameron Wake, I mean, what can you say? Comes up with 3 sacks. 4th down, you're trying to stop him, and comes up with a huge sack. Then, I mean, 7 hits I think he had during the game. It's quite a way to start the season.
Yeah, he loves football. I mean, he goes to work every day. He's obviously a skilled player. He's got good athletic talent, but he likes the game. He works at it, and you're happy to see a guy have that type of production who works as hard as he does.
Coach, you're looking for takeaways. You get the 3 interceptions in the first half. It could have had a few more, quite frankly, it looked like.
Yeah, it was close. I thought our guys did a good job. We were able to win the turnover margin, which is something we've been preaching and talking about for a long time. And it's going to be important for the way we are right now as a football team. It's going to be a constant.
How concerned are you with the inability to run the football on a day like today?
Yeah, I think we averaged under 1 yard a carry or something like that. That's not a good way to live in the National Football League. You got to have balance. Obviously, we did not have that today, and we need to do a better job. There's no question about it.
When you think about the 4th quarter, it seemed like you guys were able to take charge of the game at a time that you needed to.
Yeah, I thought our guys were resilient. I thought at the end of the first half, we had played relatively well coming out the gate. At the end of the second quarter, things were a little choppy. We had a couple penalties here and there, had a giveaway there, and they took the lead. And but I thought our guys kind of showed some resolve and some toughness, and just kept playing, kept their poise, which was good to see. That was part of it, certainly. That was part of it. There's no doubt about it. And the starting point of every passing game is protection, and we got to do a better job.
How would you say you played in the second half?
First glance, I thought he played pretty well.
Just the kind of drive you had with Daniel's touchdown. That's the drive you needed last year to win a lot of games. You got it.
Yeah, we're going to be in a lot. Again, I don't have a crystal ball, but my gut tells me we're going to be in a lot of games. Similar to this, where, as we all know, and it's not uncommon just to us. This league, a lot of games are decided in the fourth quarter, and it's something we've talked about. We got to play well in the fourth quarter.
Different receivers that you saw. Brian has over 100 yards. I think Gibson had 77, and Mike Wallace had one reception for 15 yards.
Yeah, I thought that I thought the ball went to the right place for the vast majority of the time, based on the coverages that we got, and we dropped a couple passes. We had to do a better job catching the football on occasion, but I thought those guys played well.
Brandon had that drop early on, but then he seemed to step it up. I mean, is he going to be an important part of this offense?
Yeah, everybody is, absolutely. Every 11 guys, that step out there on the offense are all important.
Coach Dimitri comes back here and has a good game early on. He goes out with the injury, but to be able to come up with those the big interceptions,
that was some good plays.
Opportunity for him.
Yeah, he did a nice job. He prepared well during the course of the week. Had a good week of practice, and so it was good to see him make some plays.
And it seemed like the secondary throughout the entire preseason and going into this first game, it seemed like the secondary is very aggressive going after the football. Is that just the result of what you guys have been pressing on?
Well, again, you got to give credit to Kevin and his staff. Those guys have been talking about it and preaching it, and the hope and the expectation in coaching is that the things that you emphasize and you spend time at, you don't have all day to coach these guys, but the things that you really emphasize, you hope they show up on tape, and today they did.
What did you tell your team when you go at halftime trailing 7-6?
I told them we got to keep our poise and our composure, keep playing one play at a time, and display the resiliency that I know they have.
You can't run the football, and you're basically forced to throw it every down. Does that change things a lot for you?
It's the NFL, and there's going to be weeks when you're not able to run the ball like you want to. We knew coming in they had a good run defense, and that's something we prepared for, something that we expected. And you have to be able to execute throwing the ball. It's a throwing league, and when they have a good run defense, we should be able to throw the ball.
Right. How frustrating was it to go into halftime trailing when you had moved the ball and then had to settle for 2 field goals at that point?
I wasn't worried about trailing. I was frustrated that we weren't scoring touchdowns. We'd move the ball kind of sporadically, not consistently, and we need to score touchdowns when we get down to the red zone. And that's what it comes down to, is scoring touchdowns when you get down there and making it pay off.
How do you think
the inability to run the football and set some things up, how tough does that make it in that huddle to get things going?
It changes the game a little bit. It takes us out of a few things we do, but it also opens up some other things. Like I said, they're keeping base defense on the field, so we should be able to throw the ball against that, and we finally got into a rhythm of taking advantage of what was there.
You talked about them doing things to take Mike Wallace out of the game, but you were able to throw the ball around to different guys. Charles Clay got involved, Hartline got involved, and Gibson did some good things for you, so you were able to spread the ball around.
Yeah, like I said, it's frustrating for Mike. I've been there playing receiver back in the day when they take you away, and it's frustrating. But by them taking him away, it really opened up Gibson, Hardline, and even Clay. So frustrating for Mike, but at the same time, it opened up some other things for us.
It seemed like in the second half you tried to get the ball to Mike in a couple different situations. Was that something you talked about going into the second half?
Yeah, we knew we wanted to get him involved. Like I said, they didn't come out and play the way we expected them to play in the first half. So we made a few adjustments at halftime and wanted to get him involved. Took a couple shots deep to him, just missed on one, and those are going to pay off. He's going to catch those and run them for big touchdowns.
How would you say the offensive line did tonight?
I think they did a good job. They protected well, especially in the second half. Helped us string together some points, that one long drive for a touchdown in the second half. Like we said, running the football is tough. We knew coming in they were going to play a 5-man front. Backers are really good behind them, but they did a really good job pass protecting, and that's what it comes down to. We were able to move the ball and score points.
A couple more guys. Working underneath.
Yeah, he's kind of, the two guys are kind of jumping on him, talking to him. Obviously, he's a competitor, so, he's drawing back, but that's a critical situation for us. I don't remember exactly what yard line on, but if we get a 15-yard penalty, it makes it a tough field goal for us. We have a lot of confidence in Caleb, but, a 55-yarder is much harder than a 40-yarder. So I just wanted to make sure we get him out of there and not have a penalty.
Do you put it on yourself to kind of sometimes be the referee, not the referee, but, the guy who keeps people in line?
Yeah, for sure. Offensively, that's kind of my job is, get guys going down the field. If something's not happening the way we want it to, the way we expect it to, correct it and not have dumb penalties.
The touchdown past the hard line, were you going to him all the way? I mean, it was a DA from the start. Was that?
Well, we had a play called where we could hit Mike on one side and Hartline on the other side. They ended up bumping him off, so my initial reaction was go to Mike. But then they clouded Mike up and made it tough to get him the ball. So it came back to Hartline. He ran a great route. I was able to hit him for a touchdown.